camp now. Yes, I didn't see him. What are you looking so sad about, Jack?
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm really insulted. That's not right, what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm getting a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talk about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, as you know, one time during my career, I went on a Bomber of Money tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right, you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Salute to Miss Cass. Without her, none of this would be possible. Salute to Mike Mazik. Salute, Mike. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Box Story. Today, Boxing Cornerman. Boxing Cornerman, brought to you by the legendary Thomas Hill. How's the family today? Yeah, we're going to get into Boxing Cornerman today. We're going to look at just exactly what is a Boxing Cornerman. Exactly what do they do? We're going to cover all of that today. Again, brought to you by Thomas Hill. How's the family this afternoon? This is the Hump Day edition of Cass Sports, the Box Story. Halfway through the week. Got the big matchup this weekend. Andy Cruz, Raymond Muratalla. I believe it's for the IBF lightweight 135-pound world championship. Could be a great matchup. Great matchup between these two gentlemen. I'm looking for a great fight. 50-50. Okay. Leaning a little toward Andy Cruz, but man, Tyler wins is not an upset. That's this weekend. Tomorrow, it's going to be history of the WBC, World Boxing Council. Friday for the profile, the life and career of gentleman Jerry Cooney. And of course, today, Cornerman. All that's the rest of the week on Cast Sports the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. All right, let's get ready to get into it. We're going to start out with our fight of the day, as usual. So let's get into that. Get this thing started. Okay. So now, without further ado, today's fight of the day. Okay, today's fight of the day is Evander Holyfield versus John Ruiz. Evander Holyfield made history as the only 4-time heavyweight champion, but John Ruiz called the decision robbery without a gun. Robbery without a gun. All-time great Evander Holyfield sure accomplished a heck of a lot during his long boxing career. Undisputed cruiserweight king, unified heavyweight champion, puller of huge upsets, and the distinction as being the only fighter to have won a world title across 3 separate decades, the 1980s, 1990s, and 2000s. All this and more belong in Holyfield's trophy cabinet. All this and more belongs in Holyfield's trophy cabinet. Okay? So Holyfield versus Ruiz, the first fight. They had a trilogy. And the first fight was August the 12th, 2000. August 12th, 2000. First fight. And it was a quarter century ago when the Real Deal, or if you prefer Evander's other ring nickname, Warrior, made more boxing history. At this time, a 37-year-old, somewhat grizzled ring warrior, Holyfield, refusing to retire, despite all he had accomplished, met John Ruiz in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lennox Lewis had vacated the WBA belt, and Holyfield and the quiet man, Ruiz, fought for it. Holyfield still looked magnificent physically, yet his skills had eroded. Ruiz, best known at the time for having been brutally wiped out inside a round by David Tua, this back in 1996, was a good fighter, one who didn't necessarily excel at one particular thing, but did all things pretty well. And Ruiz was the younger man coming into this fight at age 29. Holyfield came in 36 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 25 knockouts. Ruiz came in 36 wins, 3 losses, 27 knockouts. Very similar records, very similar. Ruiz who was looking to make some history of his own by becoming the first ever Latino to win the heavyweight title, was by far the more aggressive fighter of the two. Holyfield had a good round 3 when he hurt Ruiz and seemed to have him in some trouble. But aside from that, it appeared as though Ruiz was banking the rounds. It was far from a great fight, and it was apparent how much Holyfield had slipped as a fighter. Apparent as the fight went on how much Holyfield had slipped. After 12 decent, but not at all spectacular rounds, the 3 judges had it close, very close. Holyfield edged it by scores of 114-113 on 2 judges' cards, while the third official had it 116-112 for Ruiz. Split decision for Holyfield. And boy, did Ruiz cry robbery afterwards. Boy, did Ruiz cry robbery. So Ruiz cries robbery after defeat. It was highway robbery without a gun, Ruiz insisted, with plenty of people agreeing with him. I won the fight, and Holyfield knows I won the fight. I was definitely robbed. I had control of the fight. I am very surprised by the judge's decision. I don't know what fight they were watching. Ruiz said he don't know what fight those judges were watching. It wasn't the one he just engaged in with Holyfield for sure. Couldn't have been. Ruiz said they couldn't have been watching this fight. No way. But Holyfield was having none of it, with the now 4-time heavyweight boss stating how he felt like he should be champion already. This as the decision in his return fight with Lennox Lewis didn't go his way when Holyfield believed it should have. The decision against Lewis just didn't swing my way. If you look at the fight and judge it, you'll see that I controlled the fight, Holyfield continued. And there's the fight he's talking about, him and Lewis. So, while he was arguing over the decision that went against him in a previous fight against Lewis, Holyfield was also plotting his next move. And so it would be that he and Ruiz would meet again. The two even boxing a trilogy. Okay? Now, fight 2 saw Ruiz get his revenge with a points win of his own, while the rubber match was scored a draw. It even fought 2 more times. The second fight occurred on March 3rd, 2001, and the third fight was later that year, December 15th, 2001. Okay? Your fight 2, Ruiz got the win, and the third fight, they called it a draw. A less than thrilling heavyweight trilogy, to be sure, but not one without some drama, some action, and a fair amount of controversy. But there you have it, the fighters of the day, Evander Holyfield and John Ruiz for the trilogy. 1-1-1. 1 win for Holyfield, 1 win for Ruiz, and 1 draw. Okay? So now today's show will be Cornermen, boxing Cornermen. Okay? Well, let's get started with that. Salute to everybody. Appreciate you stopping by for today's show. Boxing Cornermen. Okay? Let's get into it. But how's everybody? It's hump day today. Middle of the week. And 2 more big days of boxing history. Like I told you, the history of the WBC is tomorrow. And then for the profile Friday is the life and career of Gentleman Jerry Cooney. Yep. And that will be the week on Cast Sports the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. Okay, let's get started with Cornerman now. So let's just do a little rundown now of what the Cornerman job ensues. What do they do in there, Cornerman? Okay. Now, in the electrifying world of boxing, it's not just about the fighters in the ring. The unsung heroes who play a pivotal role in a boxer's journey are the cornermen. They are like the coaches of the boxing world, offering guidance, support, and strategic insight during the most crucial moments of a fight. But what exactly is the role of a cornerman in boxing? Let's dive into the corner of the ring and uncover the mysteries of this essential position. Cornerman. Now, the cornerman's basics, okay? The cornerman's basics. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's start with the fundamentals. A cornerman is a member of a boxer's team responsible for managing various aspects of a fight. They are typically found in the corner of the boxing ring during fights. Now, the cornerman wears a few different hats, okay? Trainer, cut man, the manager can be over there in the corner, spit bucket man. Yeah, all of these are cornermen. Now, trainer and motivator. Now, the cornerman, like I said, wears many hats, but perhaps the most important is that of a trainer and motivator. They work tirelessly to prepare the fighter physically and mentally for the fight. This includes helping the fighter with their training regimen, ensuring they are in peak physical condition, and boosting their confidence. Cornerman is a tactical advisor, okay? Tactical advisor. During the fight, the cornerman is a tactical advisor. They watch the fight closely, studying their opponent's moves and formulating strategies on the fly. This involves assessing the opponent's weaknesses and advising their fighter on the best approach to exploiting those weaknesses. Okay? Cut man duties. Cut man duties. One of the most critical roles of a cornerman is that of a cut man. When a boxer sustains cuts or swelling, the cut man steps in to treat the injuries. They use various tools and substances to minimize the damage and ensure the fighter can continue the match. We're going to talk about stitch the red later, and we're going to get into the tools and substances that they use. Cornerman also equipment manager. Okay, equipment manager. In the chaos of a fight, it's essential that the boxer's equipment is in perfect condition. The cornerman ensures that gloves, mouth guards, and other gear are ready and functional. They also help the fighter change gloves if needed. The cornerman gives the fighter emotional support. Okay, emotional support. Beyond the physical aspects, a cornerman provides vital emotional support. Boxing is as much a mental game as it is physical, and the cornerman's presence can be a source of comfort and motivation for the fighter. Back to the cut, man. Swelling and injury management. Swelling and injury management. In addition to treating cuts, cornermen are skilled at managing swelling and minor injuries. They use ice packs and other techniques to reduce swelling, ensuring the fighter can see clearly and breathe properly. Cornerman has to be a quick decision maker too. Quick decision maker. That's a big one. He has to be a quick decision maker. The world of boxing moves at lightning speed, And the cornerman must be a quick decision maker. They need to assess the situation in the ring and make rapid decisions on whether the fighter should continue or if it's best to throw in the towel. Water and nutrition. Now, what does the cornerman have to do with water and nutrition? Glad y'all asked. Staying hydrated and properly nourished is vital in a grueling boxing fight. Cornermen ensure the boxer receives water and necessary nutrition between rounds to maintain their stamina and focus. Okay? Communication. Vital part of a cornerman's duties. Communication. Effective communication is key. The cornerman must convey strategies, advice, and motivation to the boxer in a clear and concise manner, despite the noise and tension in the arena and the chaos or situation that's going on in the ring. Clear and concise manner. He must convey that information and communicate with his fighter, despite what's going on around him in the arena. Cornerman must have a very good knowledge of the rules and regulations of the sport. To be an effective cornerman, one must have a deep understanding of the rules and regulations of boxing. This knowledge helps them make informed decisions and avoid costly mistakes. Now, the cornerman is just not a corner man, it's a corner team, okay? A corner team. Corner team dynamics. Okay? Now, the cornerman is just one part of a team of cornermen that may include a head trainer, assistant trainer, and cut man. The dynamics within the corner are essential for seamless cooperation and decision-making during the fight. The cornermen must maintain calm under pressure. Maintain calm under pressure. That's another key one. Because that goes directly to the fighter. If the cornerman all upset and excited, then what is the fighter going to be? So the cornermen must maintain calm under pressure. In the heat of the moment, when the boxer is in the thick of battle, the cornermen must maintain composure and provide the support and guidance needed to navigate challenging situations during the fight. Okay? The post-fight care. Post-fight care. Win or lose, cornerman is vital in the post-fight care. The cornermen's duties don't end when the final bell rings. They continue to care for the fighter after the fight, ensuring any injuries are properly treated and the boxer is on the path to recovery from those injuries. The unseen heroes. While the spotlight shines on the fighters during the boxing fight, it's crucial to remember the cornermen are the unsung heroes of boxing. They play a pivotal role in a boxer's success and well-being throughout their careers. The role of a cornerman in boxing is multifaceted and indispensable. They're the guiding force behind a boxer's journey, offering support, strategy, and unwavering dedication. Boxing wouldn't be the same without these unsung heroes in the corner, the cornermen. Okay, so now let's look more deeply. Let's look a little bit more deeply at the cornerman now, okay? A little more deeply at the cornermen. Okay, but how's everybody's Wednesday afternoon going? Hope all is good. Getting into the Corner Man today, brought to you by Thomas Hill. All right. We're going to look a little bit more deeply at the Corner Man now. All right. We're going to look a little bit more deeply. I didn't have the volume turned down. My bad. Okay, excuse me for a minute. On Momento. We're going to get back into the Corner Man boxing. Very vital role. The fighter, of course, is the main cog, main thing about the sport. That's who we pay our money to see. And that's who performs. The Corner Man is a vital part of a boxer's career and the sport. Okay? And that's what we are discussing today. So those were just the basic things. Now we're going to get more deeply into the Corner Man. There's Stitch Duran. We're going to look at him later. At Stitch's career and everything. Yeah. The best cut man ever. Stitch Duran. Yes, he is. He was on DVO Sports TV a few weeks ago. Stitch was as a guest. Yeah. You'll be getting them interviews, man. I have to go out and come back in and say, what? It's the man. Then we all got though. Miritala or Randy Cruz. Mike Rem in the building. What's up, Mike Rem? Cornermen today. We just did a brief basic description of what they do. Now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into it and look at his roles during a fight. We're going to go through a specific fight and talk about what the Corner Man does in there. Now, that's Stitch Duran right there, famous cut man. Corner Man wears many hats. Trainer, cut man, spit bucket man. Sometimes the manager can be over there in the corner. He wears a few different hats. Cut man might be the most important. He can directly figure in winning or losing a fight if he can't get that cannot get that cut stop, you know? So yeah, Stitch is one of the best. There he is at work right there. And we're gonna have something on Stitch a little later in the show. We'll look at his career. Jacob Stitch Duran. Got to be a good cut man if your nickname is Stitch, right? It's like a boxer with the nickname of Killer or something. The corner man a cut man named Stitch, he got to be a bad man on them cuts, right? Okay, let's continue now. The Corner Man. Went over the basics. We're going a little bit deeper into it now. Okay. Now, the Corner Man. Now, so often in the shadows, when the boxer succeeds and is more likely to be front and center when the boxer fails, right? That's the Corner Man. So often in the shadows when the boxer succeeds and is more likely to be front and center when the boxer fails, the Corner Man. Many would consider being a corner man a pretty thankless task. Many of the greats have probably had real bad days. And they probably wonder to themselves why they bothered at all. A top corner man must possess a range of complementary attributes that many people may never attain. The corner man must have detachment from their boxer, but at the same time, an unwavering devotion to that boxer's well-being. The corner man has a desire to watch every characteristic of his boxer's performance, but out of necessity, must examine every detail of what the other guy brings to the party, the opponent. Okay? I don't only have to know his fight, I got to know that opponent too. He must be a psychologist, able to assist the fighter through the emotional minefield that is the preparation for combat. A strategist, a general, able to see what it's going to take to secure victory, and offering the kind of tactical advice that can be put into practice in the crucible of battle. He's a nutritionist, a medic, and a role model. Told you the cornerman wears many hats. The list goes on and on. In short, a good cornerman needs to possess a range of qualities that are very unlikely to be prerequisites in many other occupations or pastimes. George Benton, Eddie Futch, Ray Arcel, Angelo Dundee, Custer Mato, Emmanuel Stewart, Freddie Roach. All of these apex predator cornermen brought with them to the ring an array of qualities that took them above and beyond their peers. And as they amassed experience, they grew better and better. These guys are true ring greats, every bit as important to the game as the fighters that they mentored. And we're going to look at some of the great cornermen later too, okay? Including Stitch Duran. I got 7 grandmasters of boxing training, okay? Cornermen. Now, whether it is Eddie Futch recognizing with dread the signs of impending doom when his fighter, Smoking Joe Frazier, met Muhammad Ali in the ultimate war of attrition in Manila, the Thriller in Manila, and going against the will of his fighter by pulling him out before that one punch too many landed. By that time in his life, Eddie Futch had witnessed 7 deaths in the ring, okay? 7 deaths in the ring. And he knew the signs. It took a long time for Smoking Joe to forgive Futch for an act of such reckless compassion. But Eddie knew the signs, and he got Joe out of there before he took that one punch too many, as he had seen other fighters do. Or how about Angelo Dundee, speaking with functional honesty to Sugar Ray Leonard during this historic 1981 fight with the hitman Tommy Hearns. A fight in which, up until the 13th round, Leonard had been comprehensively outpointed. Angelo turned the tide of the fight with a phrase as simple as, "You're blowing it, kid, you're blowing it." Leonard subsequently put in one of the greatest rounds in boxing history to leave the Motor City Cobra a battered and beaten man. Today, we will explore what are some key considerations in the world of the cornerman on fight night. Okay, we're gonna look at some fights, some things that happen on fight night. Okay. Okay, so before the opening bell, start right there. This is the cornerman actual fight night. Before the opening bell, a cornerman must prepare his fighter for combat way ahead of the actual ring appointment. Okay? So we're going to focus on the evening of the fight as opposed to the work in the gym. because the fight begins long before the night of the fight. But that's what we're going to focus on, okay? Okay, so prepare the mind. Prepare the mind. The hours and minutes before a fight are a real trial for a fighter. A conundrum of emotions hits you, ranging from serenity to agitation, from fear to anger, from confidence to self-doubt. Depending upon the capability and the experience of the fighter, the cornerman will need to help to a greater or lesser extent in the management of the fighter during this phase of the preparation. There's no silver bullet on how to do this. It varies from boxer to boxer. Okay? Now, some little rules that a cornerman follows leading up to the fight, preparing the fighter's mind for battle. These are some little rules that they follow. Avoid confusion around the boxer. Keeping things calm and ensuring that the boxer is not troubled by unimportant matters will allow them to focus 100% on the upcoming fight. Okay, these are things on fight night. Reinforce the boxer with positive statements. The boxer wants to focus on victory, okay? So say things like, imagine that feeling of waking up tomorrow and thinking back on the fight. The instant of realizing that you won is one of the great feelings that an athlete experiences, up there with the moment your hand being raised, okay? Don't say things like, whatever you do, don't lose. Or, my God, I just saw your opponent. He's a monster. Okay? Don't tell your fighter things like that. Keep everything positive. Look for signs of overconfidence and temper this with one or two statements to make the boxer aware of the potential threat. After all, the opponent is more likely than not to be well trained also and pretty capable. Otherwise, the fight would not have been made in the first place. Okay? Talking about some things the cornerman goes through on fight night. Prepare the body. Prepare the body. Prepare the body. A good warm-up is of paramount importance. A good cornerman will ensure that the boxer is not hit with the curse of a slow start. If the boxer is a self-confessed slow starter, then a thorough warm-up is non-negotiable. Now, why is the warm-up so important? Well, in amateur boxing, there are 3 or 4 rounds. Losing the first round because of a substandard warm-up is a terrible waste and leaves ground to be made up and not a lot of time to make it up in. A fast start supported by a good warm-up allows authority to be stamped on the fighter right from the outset. Okay? Yeah, a good start is very important. So getting your fighter nice and warmed up before the fight is also very, very important. Now, you studied your opponent extensively in the camp leading up to the fight, but sometimes, you get a fight on short notice or something, or in the amateurs. In many cases, little or nothing is known about the style of the opponent ahead of the fight. Okay? the name, age, weight, and record are all that the fighter is generally made on. So when this happens, the two boxers climb into the ring. A good cornerman will look for some basics that will allow an initial strategy to be built. This will be done in maybe 30 to 60 seconds while the introductions are being made. Now, what would the cornerman look for to build that initial strategy? Height differential, stature/build, stance used, and style employed. If the opponent shadow boxes in the corner before the fight, these aspects of the opponent are enough to give a cornerman enough to go on to advise on the first round approach. Get off to a good start. Okay, so the bell sounds and the fistic festivities commence. The fistic festivities commence. That's a tongue twister there. Fistic festivities. The bell goes and the fistic festivities commence. Firstly, a good cornerman does not show blind support to a fighter. This should be left to the supporters in the audience. A good cornerman remains objective and does not become emotionally involved in the fight. The natural urge of the cornerman is to focus 100% on their fighter. However, this urge should be ignored, and it's the opponent who should be the real focus of the cornerman's concentration, especially early in the fight, okay? Now, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the opponent? What happens before, during, and after they throw shots? Do they like to keep the fight up close, or are they more comfortable at long range? How was their intensity and endurance during the round? Is there a big difference in the physical strength between the combatants? There really is a lot for a cornerman to look out for. The trick is to filter all of the observations to 2 or 3 of the most important. Okay, the golden minute. The golden minute, cornermen today. When the bell sounds to end the round, the subsequent minute is where a good cornerman can truly influence the direction of the fight, ideally in favor of his own fighter. In basic terms, there are 3 things to achieve within that 1 minute between rounds, okay? 3 things to achieve in that 1 minute period between the rounds. Aid recovery. Maximize the intake of oxygen by the boxer. Correct controlled breathing is a must, and a good cornerman will ensure that this is done. He will also ensure that the oxygenated blood will be given the best chance to circulate to the places that it needs to. So the arms of the boxer are rested on the lap. They are not draped over the ropes. That's important. Next fight you see, that indicates how good your cornerman is. Is the fighter's arms in his lap, or are they draped on the ropes? They should be in his lap, not draped on the ropes. Okay? Pennywise in the building. Salute Pennywise. Good to have you back again. Cornerman. Did you look at the I forgot what you asked me yesterday now. Oh, the Bomb of the Month tour. Pennywise, did you check that out? You was asking me about Joe Louis. Did he have fight bombs? So yeah, that was Monday. That would answer that for you. But salute Pennywise, Cornerman today. Pennywise said, "Can you get my boxing coach, Mike, a shutout? Mike Coxlaw, a shutout. Salute to Mike Coxlaw, boxing coach of Pennywise Sewer Drain. Salute, Mike. That's his name, Mike Coxlaw. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because it's all about them today. Pennywise, in between rounds, do you put your arms in your lap or do you drape them on the ropes? A good corner man will make sure his fighter's arms are in his lap, not on the ropes. Okay. Let's salute Pennywise and his coach, Mike Coxlaw. It is. Okay. Yeah, and let's see, where were we? This gives the oxygenated blood the best chance to circulate to the places that it needs to, keeping your arms in your lap and not up on the ropes, okay? Talking about some of the best things to ensure between rounds. Manage the fluid intake of the fighter. The objective is to get the right amount of water on board without this getting in the way of effective breathing. Okay? Deal with any bleeding. Usually in the amateur ranks, this amounts to nothing more than a bleeding nose or cut to the mouth. Any cuts to the eyebrows usually result in a swift stoppage in the amateurs. Again, this should be done without hampering. You guessed it, effective breathing. Okay, that's important. Everything done in that corner should not affect your boxer's breathing. And also between the rounds, might be the most important thing. Give the correct tactical advice before you send your fighter back out there, okay? Give the correct tactical. Oh, you don't sit down between rounds, Pennywise? Okay. Yeah, okay. So you don't have to worry about where you put your arms at. But you keep them at your side, so you put them up on the ropes then when you're standing there. I guess you should keep them at your sides, right? Instead of draping them on the ropes. You know, sitting down or standing up. Don't drape your arms over the ropes. Okay? That affects your blood circulation. And draping them affects it in a negative way. Keeping them down in your lap or down at your sides affects it more positively than draping them on the ropes. But very important between rounds, give your fighter the right tactical advice. Okay? Now, following the work done by the corner man during the round, there are 2 or 3 pieces of key information are relayed to the boxer. I mean, following the work done by the boxer, excuse me, not the corner man. Following the work done by the boxer during the round, 2 or 3 pieces of key information are relayed to the boxer. Why only 2 or 3 bits of information? Well, a corner man can bark a dozen instructions at a boxer. However, in the phonetic cauldron of a boxing match, it's not entirely surprising that the ability to retain information is diminished. So try to get the best information and try to limit it. You know, don't sit over there and tell him 12 of different things. Try to get all the correct information to him in like 2 or 3 statements. You want to give him the best information, but they wanted to give it to him in a limited fashion. Because, like I just said, in the phonetic cauldron of a boxing match, it's the ability to retain information is diminished. A lot going on in there. Okay, motivate, motivate, motivate. Big part of a cornerman's duties. Motivate, motivate, motivate. A good cornerman finds the right word for the boxer and the situation. All boxers are different, and some respond differently to advice and how that advice is given. Some fighters respond to a stern rebuke. Others respond to positive enforcement. And many will respond to a mix of both. So you got to know your fighter, okay? The cornerman finds the right words for the boxer and situation. The trick is to send the boxer back out there with the will and belief that he can win. That's the goal you're trying to send him back out there with. The will, confidence, and belief that he can win the fight. Because if he don't believe that, he shouldn't even be out there in the first place, right? But some are just in there for a check, testing a young fighter or whatever. But, we talking about big fights, championship fights and stuff. You got to send him back out there with the will, confidence, and belief that he can win. Okay, the reckoning. Now, the fight is over, and the decision has been delivered. Whatever the result, a good cornerman will have spotted some things to work on in the gym. This can be issues with the stance, punching, or defensive work, missed opportunities, tactical oversight, and unnecessary risks. All can be identified and used back at the gym. The key words being used back at the gym. Okay? In the immediate aftermath of the fight, you let your boxer bask in the glory of a win or savor the unpalatable truth of a defeat without interfering too much in either. Okay? Let him savor the victory or think about his loss. You don't want to interfere too much immediately after the fight. Let the boxer deal with that. Okay? I mean, don't just not speak to him if he loses. I mean, but just, let him think about it and realize what he did, because you're going to work on everything back at the gym later. But immediately after the fight, don't interfere too much. A good cornerman doesn't. Okay? Experiencing these feelings is a natural part of the process of fighting. In sport in general, for that matter, any sport really, winning or losing. These feelings are a natural part of experiencing those feelings. Winning or losing is a natural part of any sport, right? The last thing that a boxer needs in the minutes following a fight, especially a loss, is a tongue lashing from the cornerman. You can do that eventually, right? But don't do it right after the fight, right after the loss, okay? It'll keep. You can do that back at the gym. Again, key word, back at the gym. Now, the boxing ring can be as lonely a place as you'll find in the sporting world and beyond. There is, however, one thing that a boxer always knows the cornerman will be there to provide. Okay? The brief snatches of support that can make a tough day at the office that little bit more bearable. Okay? The boxer knows that. The cornerman will always be there to provide that. It will make a tough day at the office a little more bearable. Hats off to the cornerman. Now let's look at some cornermen, some famous trainers. Okay, let's look at some famous trainers now. The 7 Grandmaster. Okay, we got Jack Blackburn, Charlie Goldman, Eddie Futch, Emmanuel Stewart, Cus D'Amato, Ray Arcel, Angelo Dundee, Could have had George Benton and Freddie Roach, but under time constraints. And we're going to look at Stitch Duran also as a cut man at the end. Stitch Duran. So let's get into that. There's Joe Louis and Jack Blackburn in the middle and part of their management team right there. Jack Blackburn was Joe's manager. Okay. Okay, let's get into that. Okay. Grandmaster. Now, as far as trainers go, ranking them is extremely difficult. For one thing, in the old days, almost every trainer concentrated on one champion at a time. There were only a fraction of the champions, 8 weight classes and 1 title per weight class, as opposed to 17 weight classes and 4 sanctioning organizations today, plus interim, regular, and super champions, and in some cases, champions in recess. There are potentially over 200 titles today, potentially, okay? Now, that said, there are trainers who are regarded historically as grandmasters, elite of the elite. And they all are gone now. They're all gone now. Now, the following list is drawn from various sources. And in the end, it's an opinion based on facts. And what makes a great trainer, an elite, master of the sweet science? What makes a trainer one of the grand masters? Now, Joe Louis said, once that bell rings, you are on your own. You better be ready. And you better have a guy in your corner who makes sure you are ready, who can tell you what to do if something happens. If something goes sideways, you better have a guy who can tell you what to do over in that corner. Okay? And that guy who can tell you what to do to make sure a fighter is ready is his trainer. Now, training has not improved in any way in the past 50 years. If anything, there are less qualified trainers than ever before. Joe Frazier commented, these guys nowadays aren't trained by real champions, by great ex-fighters. Okay? So the best trainers in history were fighters who knew all the secrets of the game. Rocky Marciano's trainer, Charlie Goldman, claimed to have had over 300 pro fights. Jack Blackburn, Joe Louis's trainer, was one of the great fighters of the turn of the century and had over 160 pro fights. He fought the likes of Joe Gann, Sam Langford, and Harry Greb. These trainers learned to fight by fighting and then by working with other great trainers. That level of experience is completely gone from the sport of boxing today. Ray Arcel, Hall of Fame trainer, who learned himself from some of the greats. And he trained great boxers like Benny Leonard, okay? He noted right before his death, boxing is not really boxing today. It's theater. Some kids might look good, but they don't learn their trade. If you take a piece of gold out of the ground, you know it's gold, but you still have to clean it. You have to polish it. But there aren't too many guys capable today of polishing a fighter. Now, the grandmasters of all time, we're getting ready to talk about the grandmasters masters of all time in training. Okay? There are 7 trainers who took flawed fighters and with careful training and cultivation made them all-time greats, polishing the fighter despite very obvious gaps in their games. Jack Blackburn, Charlie Goldman, Eddie Futch, Emmanuel Stewart, Ray Arcel, Cus D'Amato, and Angelo Dundee didn't really take a flawed fighter, but he still makes the list. Angelo Dundee. Let us examine these 7 grandmasters, okay? Jack Blackburn first. Joe Louis's great legendary trainer. There's him and Joe right there. Cornermen today, brought to you by Thomas Hill. Okay, we're looking at the 7 grandmasters of training now. Jack Blackburn is, in the opinion of many, the greatest trainer who ever lived. Sam Langford, one of the greatest fighters who ever lived, summed up Joe Louis when he said, "The Brown Bomber is another Joe Gans, whom I consider the greatest fighter of all time. Joe Louis can hit, he is fast, and is no slouch at employing ringcraft. I am glad I am still able to see enough to watch the boy. He is the marvel of the age." That was Sam Langford talking about Joe Louis. Jack Blackburn made Joe Louis burrow into the great Joe Louis. Jack Blackburn is best known as the Hall of Fame trainer of the great Joe Louis, but he was also a great lightweight boxer himself, who engaged in over 160 recorded pro fights from 1901 to 1922. Blackburn claimed to have had 385 fights. In a time when boxing was illegal in many states, most of his fights probably went unrecorded. That boxing career shaped Blackburn's subsequent career as a trainer. Now, never a champion, Blackburn still fought some of the greatest fighters of all time. He fought the legendary lightweight champion Joe Gans, the old master, 3 times. He fought all-time great Sam Langford 6 times, despite a major world weight at disadvantage. He fought the great welterweight Dave Holly 5 times, future light heavyweight champion Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, and Harry Greb, possibly the 4th greatest middleweight of all time. Blackburn even fought heavyweights Jim Berry and Gunbo Smith, Billy Rocap, and the greatest fight he ever saw. Billy Rocap said the greatest fight he ever saw was Jack Blackburn's famous 15-round draw with Sam Langford in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Veteran historian Charlie Rose rated Blackburn as the 3rd greatest lightweight ever in 1968. And Blackburn watched every bit of what trainers did during his 22-year career and applied it to become an all-time truly great trainer himself. Okay, he became an all-time great himself, Blackburn did. Blackburn trained 4 fighters who went on to become world champions: bantamweight Bud Taylor, flyweight Sammy Mandel, welterweight Jackie Fields, and heavyweight Joe Louis. Okay? Trained 4 world champions, Blackburn did. Joe Louis being his most famous pupil. Now, Joe Louis was his pride and joy, who he felt he had molded in the image of the great technicians of his day. The vicious but cerebral Blackburn, the old master of the ring, Joe Gans, and power-punching Sam Langford. Blackburn was introduced to Joe Louis on June 25th, 1934, and watched Joe sparring and hitting the heavy bag. Blackburn said later he saw at once Louis had natural punching power, something that could not be taught. But he also saw that he was completely dependent on his power and lacked solid fundamentals. Blackburn talked of his observations of the young Lewis and what he thought he would need to become great to the Pittsburgh Courier on July 20th, 1935, saying, "Lewis needed correction in everything except hitting. I had to teach him to back up his punches with the proper timing, accuracy, and to instruct him in the proper art of balance. I trained him under the same methods I trained under when I was a fighter." Lewis spoke of what Blackburn gave him in his autobiography. "Blackburn saw my faults right away. I was hitting off balance. He corrected this by showing me how to plant my feet and punch with my entire body, not just swinging my arms. He said people go into fights don't want to see a dancer or a clincher. They want to see a man who goes for the guts. He said I had strength and I could beat or knock out anybody I wanted to if I planted my body in the right position." Lewis said his first week with Blackburn, the trainer did nothing but hold a heavy bag and taught Lewis how to actually punch correctly. Blackburn developed Lewis into not only a boxer puncher of his extraordinary power and authority, Blackburn taught Lewis to use short, compact punches and what Floyd Patterson described as the best left hook in boxing history. And Blackburn came up with some unique training methods. For instance, Blackburn trained Joe Lewis's jab and maximized his hand speed by having him catch flies. Wow. Catch flies. Okay. The next grandmaster is Charlie Goldman, trainer of Rocky Marciano. There they are, Rocky and Charlie. Okay. 7 grandmasters today. Charlie Goldman. He trained The Rock Marciano. Let's talk about Charlie and The Rock. Charlie Goldman is the elite. Charlie Goldman is in the Elite 7, right along with Jack Blackburn. Though BoxRec only has records of 43 fights, it admits Goldman had more. Goldman claimed to have had over 400 fights, but most were unrecorded. Given the quasi-legal nature of the sport in New York when Blackburn fought, it was not unusual that no record was kept of many fights. Charlie would say in later years, as did Jack Blackburn, that it was their experience, the hundreds of fights, and their watching and learning from the old trainers that gave them the foundation to become great trainers themselves. After his career as a boxer ended, Goldman began training boxers. Goldman, like Blackburn, trained 4 undisputed world champions: middleweight Al McCoy, lightweight Lou Ambers, featherweight Joey Archibald, and heavyweight Rocky Marciano, his most famous pupil. Okay? Just as Joe Louis had been Blackburn's crowning triumph, Rocky Marciano was Goldman's. Goldman's first 3 champions, he concentrated on improving their potent technical skills. But Rocky, he built from the ground up. When Goldman first met Rocky Marciano, the fighter was an inexperienced, short, overweight, stoop-shouldered, balding, and clumsy, with the shortest reach of any heavyweight champion in history at 69 inches, still is. In addition, Marciano was starting late in the pro ranks and was light for a heavyweight. Even in the light era, he was still light for a heavyweight. Nevertheless, Goldman saw something no one else saw and began to work with Rocky. Goldman believed that a trainer should play to what a fighter is good at, their gift, and improve and refine it. He sought to turn Rocky's shortcomings into advantages. His adage was, if you got a tall fighter, make him taller. If you got a short fighter, make him shorter. With Rocky, Goldman made him shorter by teaching him to stoop down and fight out of a crouch. By having him stoop low, Goldman made the already low target offered by Marciano that much harder to hit. Okay? Made him that much harder to hit. Charlie Goldman, who originally just laughed at the challenge facing him with trying to improve Rocky, in the end felt he had crafted a masterpiece. Goldman said, I got a guy who was short, stoop-shouldered, and balding, with 2 left feet. Now Rocky's victims all looked better than he did, as far as moves are concerned, but they don't look so good laying on the canvas. Goldman crafted moves that other trainers, such as Cus D'Amato, used later with similarly height and reach disadvantaged fighters, such as Mike Tyson. Goldman had a special 300-pound heavy bag built and had Rocky pound it with both hands to increase both his punching power and his endurance. He can hit, said Goldman, but I taught him to punch, similar to what Blackburn did with Joe Louis. Goldman introduced wind sprints in addition to Rocky's morning runs of up to 10 miles. He also introduced a novel way of using a speed bag, but not like anyone else did it, or does it even now. He had Rocky hit it with hooks and slow power shots to work on his accuracy. In the end, Charlie Goldman took a guy who on paper would never have made a club fighter, let alone undisputed heavyweight champion, and made him into the number 3 heavyweight of all time and the only undisputed champion to retire undefeated at heavyweight. Okay? Papa Smurf is next. The legendary Eddie Futch. There he is with Joe Frazier, probably his best pupil, but he had a number of them. Larry Holmes, Ken Norton, Eddie, Riddick Bowe. You can make a case for Eddie. He had, but I'll say Joe Louis was his most famous pupil. Not necessarily the best. Eddie said Riddick Bowe was the best fighter he ever had. If Riddick had trained and went after it like Joe Frazier and Larry Holmes and them, said Riddick had that mindset, Riddick would have been the best fighter he ever had. Riddick didn't have it mentally. Had all the tools physically, but he didn't have it mentally. And had the great Eddie Futch in his corner. Eddie Futch, Papa Smurf. 4 up to 5 men to defeat Muhammad Ali. Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Larry Holmes, and Trevor Berbick were all trained by Eddie Futch. Muhammad Ali is quoted as saying, Eddie Futch was put on earth to make sure I stayed humble. Born in Mississippi, Eddie moved with his family to Detroit, Michigan when he was 5 years old. As a young man, he began boxing, and in 1932, Futch won the Detroit Athletic Association Lightweight Championship. And in 1933, he won the Detroit Golden Gloves Championship. He trained at the same gym as Joe Louis, the Brewster Recreation Center gym, and sparred with future champions. He sparred with Joe Louis too, and other future champions at that gym. Heart troubles prevented Futch from turning pro himself. And not wanting to leave the sport of boxing, he began training other fighters. Eddie trained 4 undisputed boxing champions, okay? Joe Frazier at heavyweight, Riddick Bowe at heavyweight, Don Jordan at middleweight, 50s, 60s fighter, and Michael Spinks, light heavyweight and heavyweight. Okay. In addition, he trained the horde of alphabet champions, including such great fighters as Alexis Arguello, the explosive thin man. Okay. Eddie Futch is probably best remembered for training Joe Frazier and Riddick Bowe. With Frazier, Eddie had many of the same problems that Charlie Goldman had with Rocky. Frazier was short, fat, and had no reach. Yet Futch crafted a merciless body-punching swarmer who was one of the top 20 heavyweights of all time. Excuse me. Like Goldman, Futch believed in emphasizing a fighter's gifts and working to refine their technique to play to their strengths. With Smoking Joe, his teaching how to use head movement and the bob and weave style led to Joe's having the best defensive numbers of any heavyweight champion in history. Okay? With Riddick Bowe, Eddie Futch said he had the most talent he had ever worked with. His challenge with Bowe was to keep him focused and away from the all-night buffet. When it was obvious to Eddie that Riddick, who had begged him to train him, was no longer willing to do the work and make the sacrifices to be great, Eddie walked away, leaving large training fees behind. Yeah, Eddie had made plenty of money in the sport. And plus, he was almost about in his 80s then. So Eddie said he didn't have time if the man didn't want it. Irony Boxing. Cornermen today, Irony. Today's show is brought to you by Thomas Hill. Salute Irony Boxing. Another great channel. Drop your link, Irony. Irony Boxing. Salute. We talking about the 7 grandmasters of trainers, Irony. We did Jack Blackburn, Joe Louis, Charlie Goldman, Rocky Marciano, and Eddie Futch. Joe Frazier. Next is Emmanuel Stewart. Cornermen today. We got something on Stitch Duran, time permitting. Emmanuel Stewart, there's him and his most famous pupil, the Hitman, the Hitman, and the Motor City Cobra, Hitman Thomas Hearns. Okay. Emmanuel Manning Stewart, born on July 7th, 1944. He passed away on October 25th, 2012. Was a figure associated with boxing his entire adult life. He was a boxer himself and trainer. He also was a highly regarded commentator for HBO boxing at one time. Emmanuel Stewart trained a total of 41 Alphabet World Champion fighters throughout his career, most notably Thomas Hearns, through his famous Kronk Gym in Detroit, Michigan. Later, he trained heavyweight champions Lennox Lewis and Vitaly Klitschko. In heavyweight championship fights, Emmanuel Stewart had a record of 34 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw with his fighters in heavyweight title fights. 34 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Wow. We got to get the winning percentage on that. Okay. 34 wins out of 37. In championship fights, he had a winning percentage of 91%, 91.8, so 92% winning percentage in championship fights. Yeah, if I was a heavyweight, I would want him to be my trainer too. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, so Stewart is a member of both the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the World Boxing Hall of Fame. He was also known for his charity work in Detroit, Michigan, especially in the area of childhood education. Stewart was born in, of all places, Bottom Creek, West Virginia. At 12 years old, he and his mother had moved to Detroit, Michigan, after his mother's divorce from his father. In his early childhood, Stewart worked for a short time at other jobs before his boxing career began. Stewart fell into his life's work at Brewster Recreation Center, famous as the home gym of Joe Louis and Eddie Futch. And when his first day he walked into this place, Eddie Futch and Joe Louis were both in there training. Yep, Brewster Recreation Center. Stewart began an amateur boxing career there at 15 years old. He was 94 wins, 3 losses as an amateur, during which he won the 1963 National Golden Gloves tournament as a bantamweight. Stewart intended to go pro, but he had difficulty finding a manager and starting his career. His best managerial offer came from a California group that included Eddie Futch, his friend. But that offer would have required Stewart to relocate from Detroit to California. Stewart was extremely close and very supportive of his mother and his 2 younger sisters, who still lived in Detroit. After much agonizing, Stewart decided his family came first, and he turned down the offer and stayed in Detroit with his family instead of turning pro. In 1964, Stewart married Marie Steele, who would be his lifelong love, and he began working at Detroit Edison Company as a laborer. He worked his way up to the apprentice electrician program, and then journeyman electrician, and finally master electrician. During the summer of 1969, Stewart's 15-year-old half-brother, James Stewart, left West Virginia and moved to Detroit to live with Stewart and his mother. Sometime later, James asked Emmanuel to teach him how to box. Now, Emmanuel had been out of boxing for some time, but he agreed to coach James. You know, when he made the decision not to turn pro and move to California, he got out of boxing. But that's what got him back in. His brother asked him to train him. In 1971, Stewart and his brother James Stewart went to the Kronk Gym, a noted gym for amateur boxers in the 1960s, and Stewart became a part-time coach at the Kronk, first coaching his brother, and then other fighters as they noticed his meticulous attention to detail, his preparation, knowledge of the sport, and the success his brother was having. So other fighters started asking him to train them. Stewart began by training amateur fighters. He was a great success and eventually began to train professionals. Stewart got his first champion on March 2nd, 1980, not the Hitman. Hilmer Kenty won the world championship by knocking out world lightweight champion Ernesto España, but Stewart became best known for his work with welterweight champion Thomas Hearns, whom he managed to change. Now this is unbelievable. He changed Hearns from a gangly, feather-fisted amateur into one of the most feared punchers in boxing history. Just like with Jack Blackman and Joe Louis and Charlie Goldman and Rocky. Hearns had that power in there, but Stewart just taught him how to punch, put that power out of him. It's hard to believe Hearns was ever a gangly, feather-fisted, well, gangly part, but feather-fisted puncher? Wow. Later in life, Stewart again came to public attention and acclaim with his training Lennox Lewis and Vladimir Klitschko, both of whom said on many occasions that Stewart's work correcting defensive flaws led to their rising to the top of the ladder professionally. Both were highly gifted offensive stars whose weakness was a questionable chin, both of them. Stewart devised a style for each that played to their strengths, covered their weaknesses, and left them all-time greats. Emmanuel Stewart said many times that he simply took what a fighter did best, worked out the kinks, and then tried to find a way to compensate for their weaknesses. It sounds easy, but of course it isn't. Stewart died on October 25th, 2012, after undergoing surgery for diverticulitis at age 68. He rightly belongs in the pantheon of great trainers and genuinely good human beings. Emanuel Stewart, okay? The Nakes of the Grandmasters, Cornermen today. What tell you about Thomas Hill? Nakes of the Grandmasters. Customato. You know who his most famous pupil was. Yeah, Customato. And there's 21 YGL Greenlight. What's up, 21? YGL Greenlight in the building. Salute. All right. Cornerman today. 21 YGL Greenlight. Cornerman. Okay. Did I tell y'all what to us about Thomas Hill? The legendary Thomas Hill. He ain't in here, is he? No, I haven't seen him. He'll catch it on the playback. Okay. All right. Well, salute 21 YGL Greenlight. 53. Okay. Was you born in 1953? 21, you older than me. No, I don't think that. I don't think he was born in 53. But salute. Okay. Who's next? Customato. Yeah, there's him and Mike right there. We might not get Angelo in because I want to get that article about Stitch Duran in too. We might overlook Angelo. We got Ray Arcel too. Wow. Okay, man. Cuss is unique among the great trainers in that he had a system he believed in, and he sought out fighters who fit it. But what separated him from other trainers with a system was his ability to adapt it to his individual fighters. Cuss was not rigid in his application. For instance, his legendary peekaboo worked differently with each of his champions. He would tweak it to match their skills. Cuss had 3 undisputed world champions: heavyweight Floyd Patterson, light heavyweight Jose Torres, and who was the other one? Anybody know who Cuss? Oh yeah, heavyweight Mike Tyson. That's right. I was just kidding. Now, Cuss, like all of the old school trainers, was a great amateur fighter, but like Eddie Futch and Emanuel Stewart, he could not make the leap to the pros for health reasons. For Cuss, it was loss of vision in his eye. Everybody couldn't remember the chart like that one fighter that couldn't see out of one eye did. He remembered the chart with his good eye. So when he covered up the good eye, reading out of the bad eye, he couldn't see nothing, but he'd already memorized the lines when the doctor told him to read it. Everybody couldn't do that. I know I couldn't. Cuss insisted. Cuss instead made the leap to trainer when he couldn't become a pro boxer because of his vision. He made the leap to trainer. He began his career in earnest when he opened the Empire Sporting Club with Jack Burrell at the Gramercy Gym. Cuss lived there at the gym for many years. Now, according to Confusing the Enemy, his autobiography, Cuss spent his time at the gym waiting for fighters talented enough to be champion. But his best fighters were routinely lured away by connected managers, the mafia manager, leading to a lifelong hatred of wise guys on Cuss's part. Yeah, he started managing around that era, right? One fighter developed to contender status by Cuss was Rocky Graciano. Cuss got into contender status, and guess what? Rocky left him for connected manager in order to get a title shot, and went on to become middleweight champion. Me and Irony was talking about that the other day. Cuss got Rocky to contender, but Cuss couldn't get in the title shot because the mob controlled everything. So Rocky had to leave Cuss and go to a mob manager to get his title shot. That's just how it was back then. You had no choice. If Rocky Graciano had stayed loyal and remained with Cuss, he would have never became champion because he wouldn't have got the title shot. So you just did what you had to do back then. Okay. So Cuss, finally in 1952, Cuss got his champion. He spotted a young middleweight training at the Gramercy Gym. and convinced the 17-year-old kid that his style and training could carry him to a world title. In the kid's case, a weak chin required special protection, and Cuss's peekaboo, developed years before for Graciano, was a perfect fit for this kid. But Cuss showed his genius in adapting the peekaboo to the kid's unique talents. He taught him to dart in and out, firing lightning fast combinations, then darting back out before his opponent could tee off on him. This kid's name was Floyd Patterson, and Cuss trained and managed him all the way to undisputed world heavyweight champion and the first man to regain the heavyweight title after losing it. In 1956, Cuss spotted another young man, this one on the Army boxing team, and convinced him to work as a sparring partner for Floyd Patterson. From there, the other kid decided that Cuss's training methods and peekaboo would work for him too. And that kid, Jose Torres, ended up as undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. But Jose, who had 3 inches of reach on Floyd and a better chin, Jose was only knocked out once. Jose used a variation of the peekaboo that Cuss altered to fit his longer reach and stouter chin. Jose simply used side-to-side movement instead of darting in and out, while still firing the rapid combinations typified by the peekaboo. Your Cuss would adjust the peekaboo to your certain style. Jose had a better chin and longer reach, so he didn't have to dart in and out like Floyd did to keep from getting counted. Jose went side to side with the peekaboo. Okay? And he said, if Cuss, let me see. If Cuss lasted like a decade more, Mike's career would have been totally different. Yeah, Don King wouldn't even, Don King or Robin Givens wouldn't have been in the picture. He wouldn't have went to prison, because if Cuss had been still around, Mike wouldn't even have been at that beauty pageant in the first place. He would have been in New York training, or in the bed getting ready to get up the next day and train. He wouldn't have been out in Indiana at no beauty pageant. He went there for some kind of promotion. If he had went there for that, guess who would have been there with him? Cuss. So he still would have went to the promotion and took his butt back to New York. If Cuss would have been around, you're 100% correct, Irony. Mike would have turned out totally different. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he got his first 2 champions, Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres, and he used the peekaboo differently. He used it to fit their style. After Jose Torres, it would be almost 2.5 decades after that, 23 long years before Cuss finally found another kid who fit his mold for a fighter. After Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres' careers ended, Cuss worked in relative obscurity. He had become convinced that the best way to mold a champion was find a young troubled kid who needed a purpose, and gave them that while teaching them to fight. It was 1979 when Cuss found this kid who would be his masterpiece in a nearby juvenile reformatory. Cuss took a 13-year-old kid named Mike Tyson and again tweaked his classic peekaboo style to suit Tyson's particular strengths. Like Torres, Tyson had a stronger chin than Floyd Patterson, but Tyson was far stronger than Torres. So Cuss again adapted his style to his fighter. And unlike Patterson, who would dart in and out, and unlike Torres, who would go side to side, Mike just bored in range and fired away, right? Mike didn't dart in and out or go side to side. Mike just got in range and fired away because he had the chin, better chin than Patterson and stronger than Torres, okay? The Cuss just got him close, and Mike just fired away. But it was a lot more to it than that. Mike had skills and everything, getting inside, you know. He didn't just run up in there. He had good footwork and movement and all that to get him in range too. Now, Cuss also actually used training methods with Mike Tyson that Charlie Goldman had used with Rocky Marciano. Again, according to Cuss's autobiography, Cuss was familiar to Rocky's routines, and he thought that using that 300-pound heavy bag for a limited time with Mike would help Tyson develop his potential power. At age 13, Mike was muscular and already weighed nearly 200 pounds at 13. I think I weighed about 90 at 13. Mike was already at 200 at 13. Wow. Now, Cuss realized that due to Tyson's size deficits and his lack of reach, that a style to counter those deficits would have to bring, as Rocky did, incredible power and endurance, because he's going to have to work to get where he wanted to be at, you know. Now, according to Cuss's autobiography again, Cuss used to claim that there's no such thing as a natural puncher. There's a natural aptitude for punching, and that is different. Nobody is born the best. You have to practice and train to become the best. Okay, that is so true. Nobody is born the best. You definitely got to work at it. Now, Cuss believed Mike Tyson needed to have incredible punching power in both hands, and as Rocky had enough endurance and stamina to use his style for 15 rounds, right? Work his way inside. They had to do it for 15 rounds, but Mike was in the 15-round era. Okay? So Cuss put Mike on a 300-pound bag like Rocky was on. Unbelievably, and he did it when he was 13. Unbelievably heavy for a 13-year-old kid, and told him to develop his natural punching power in both hands. But it worked. Cuss knew Rocky Marciano trained using this technique and was quick to get Mike on the same routine, as he saw Mike with many of the same weaknesses in size and reach that Rocky had to overcome, and also with some of Rocky's strengths, his natural power and willingness to work. Yeah, you're right, Arnie. If Cuss had stayed around, because Mike was willing to work then. He worshiped Cuss. Mike at that time was a gym rat. And after his workouts, he studied film for hours. Right? Mike ended up using a Rocky bag for 5 years until he was ready to fight as a pro. Started at 13. Now, Cuss never got a chance to see his masterpiece win the title. His pride and joy won the undisputed. He never got to see him win the undisputed title. Mike won his 11th fight as a pro on November 1st, 1985. That's all Cuss saw, 11 fights. He died 3 days later, November the 4th, 1985. Yeah. Cuss the trainer was better than Cuss the manager, who tended to protect his fighters too much by putting them in only with fighters he was convinced they could beat. But Cuss the trainer was a genuinely great trainer. His ability to craft a system that both protected smaller or weaker chance fighters, and which was also a deadly efficient offensive system, coupled with his willingness to tweak it to each fighter's individual strengths and weaknesses, and his ability to incorporate good ideas from other master trainers, such as Charlie Goldman, puts him in the elite of the elite of the elite of the elite of all time. We got to get Ray Arcel in. We might not get Stitch Duran. We'll get Stitch another day. Yeah, but Ray Arcel. Because there's Ray's two greats. I got to put both of them, Benny Leonard and Roberto Duran. I can't single out one of them for Ray. That's Ray and Benny Leonard on the left, and him and Roberto Duran on the right. And look at that, man. He trained these two fighters, one in the 20s, one in the 70s. Same man. Incredible. Yeah, that's him and Benny Leonard on the left, him and Roberto Duran on the right. Ray Arcel is truly incredible. And he trained one in the 20s, one in the 70s. And every decade in between, except for the 60s, he had at least one world champion in. And the only reason he had one in the 60s because he ran afoul of the mob. And they almost killed him in the 50s. And he got out of boxing. And he didn't get back in until like 69 or 70 when somebody asked him to train Roberto Duran. Well, he would have had a champion in the 60s too. They caught him outside the hotel and hit him upside the head with a pipe or something and almost killed Ray because he wouldn't cooperate with the mafia. He wouldn't let his fighters take those mafia-trained managers, right? Yeah. And so he thought they was going to kill him, so he just got entirely out of boxing in the 60s. That's the only reason he didn't have a world champion. The only decade that he was a trainer that he didn't have a world champion in, between the 20s and he went all the way up to the 80s. And I told y'all, when Larry Holmes fought Jerry Cooney, Holmes wasn't taking no chances. He had Ray Arcel and Eddie Futch in his corner for that fight. He wasn't taking no chances, was he? Eddie Futch and Ray Arcel in the same corner. Yeah, but that's him and Benny Leonard on the left and Roberto Duran on the right, his two masterpieces, Ray Arcel. Now, Ray Arcel was a great trainer, a technical master who could indeed polish great talents into great fighters. Arcel was born in Terre Haute, Indiana on August 30th, 1899. How you going to train Benny Leonard more in 1999? 1899. He was like in his 20s when he trained Leonard, and like in his 70s when he trained Duran. You know, young man for one, old man for both. And those are the two greatest lightweights of all time. That would be prime versus prime. Wow. I would pay like $1,000 for that pay-per-view. Roberto Duran, Benny Leonard, prime versus prime. Ooh. Imagine what if they fought now, Roberto Duran and Benny Leonard, with the price of a pay-per-view and the purses they would get in 2026. Imagine that, irony. Roberto Duran and Ray Arcel, prime versus prime right now in 2026. The pay-per-view probably be like 15,000 pay-per-view buys. But let's get back to Ray. Yeah. He was the son of Rose and David Arcel, who were Jewish immigrants from Russia and Romania. He moved to New York City before he was 6 years old, and he grew up in Harlem. Okay? Now, growing up, when and where he did, Arcel took the path of most resistance and trained to be a boxer at Grupp's Gymnasium on 116th Street and 8th Avenue. You had to fight in those days, Arcel related. Arcel said in Cornerman. Yeah, that's the book Ant was talking about, Cornerman, yeah. And he said, Ray said you had to fight in those days. You lived in a neighborhood where you were challenged every day. We were the only Jewish family there, but that's an old story. Of course, fighting in the street meant nothing. Wherever you'd go, you'd see two guys fighting. If you didn't fight, you were yellow. Damn, that sounds like Baltimore's West Side. Where I grew up at. Damn. Okay, but anyway, as with other great trainers, Ray was unable to make the jump to the pro rank, but loving the sport, wanted to stay a part of it. So he began working with the trainers at Grupp's Gym first, and then he himself began training fighters at Stillman's Gym, right by the old location of Madison Square Garden on 8th Avenue in the 1920s. I think that's when Tex Rickard owned Madison Square Garden. Now, Ray had the following undisputed champion. Okay, he had 6 of them. He had lightweight Benny Leonard, lightweight Roberto Duran, lightweight and welterweight Barney Ross, middleweight Tony Zale, heavyweight James J. Braddock, heavyweight Ezra Charles, every one of them in the Hall of Fame. And he also assisted Eddie Futch training the great Larry Holmes, every one of them in the Hall of Fame. Every one of his champions. BBO Sports TV in the building. What's up, BBO? Salute. Cornerman today, BBO. You missed a good one. You got to go back and look at the replay of this one, BBO. Okay. But let's finish up. Ray Arcel. BBO, that's him. Ray Arcel on the left, training Benny Leonard in the 20s. And that's Ray Arcel on the right, training Roberto Duran in the 70s. His two masterpieces. Yeah. Okay. So, but salute, BBO. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Okay, he also assisted Eddie Futch in training Larry Holmes. Now, the first heavyweight Arcel trained was James Braddock for the fight with Joe Louis in 1937. That's Joe Louis's first championship fight. Over the years, also trained 15 members that fought against Joe Louis, right? And Ray Arcel said, I got tired of seeing those guys get stretched out. He trained 15 fighters that fought Joe Louis, and Ray said, I got tired of seeing them guys getting stretched out. Now, Arcel, who told his family he was tired of boxing, retired in 1940 and took a job in private industry. But he still went to the fights, but as a fan. Then he saw Ezzard Charles, who he called the greatest talent he had ever saw. And he was right back in the sport. When Charles got drafted, he again left the sport until Charles returned after the war. This is what I was talking about earlier. Now, Ray fell afoul of the mob in the 1950s, and it nearly got him killed. Arcel began arranging fights for ABC. Unfortunately, another network with close ties to the IBC, the International Boxing Club, run by Frankie Carbo and James Norris, known mafia figures, began suffering the financial strain. On September, and it had something to do with the fighters, the managers, and all that too. But on September 19th, 1953, Arcel was standing outside a Boston hotel, having just returned from Yom Kippur services, when he was attacked by an unknown assailant and hit in the forehead with a lead pipe. He suffered a concussion, spent 19 days in the hospital, and was lucky he wasn't killed. Getting the message? Arcel retired from boxing again for 18 years. He didn't come back until 1971 to train Roberto Duran. That's when he came back. They asked him to train Roberto. So he came back into the sport. But that's why he got out of it. The mafia was threatening him then. Arcel did not fully return until 1972 when he began working with Roberto Duran. His last champion was Larry Holmes. He worked with Larry up until 1982. Now, Arcel believed, as all the masters did, that his job was to find and polish the natural skills of a fighter and encourage what they did best. He believed after that his job was to find a way to cover the fighter's weaknesses, which all of them had. He trained over 2,000 boxers and set up his craft. I never considered myself a trainer. I always considered myself a teacher. Ray Arcel, like all the grandmasters, believed an out-of-shape fighter was a danger to himself. Arcel parted company with Duran when Roberto was partying after losing to Leonard in the first fight. The rematch, after the No Mas fight. But he did come back. Journalist W.C. Hanks quoted in Cornerman, Ray Arcel is more concerned with the fighter than the fight. The best you can say about Ray Arcel, and there have been other trainers like him, but they're certainly not in the majority. He was the type of trainer that if you had a son and that son insisted on becoming a boxer, Ray Arcel was the one you'd want to train and condition him. Ray Arcel always, above and beyond anything else, looked out for the health and well-being of his fighters. What was Ray Arcel proudest of in his life? According to Cotnermen, it was the fact that he had trained 2,000 boxers and not one of them ever got seriously hurt in a fight. Not champions, not all the undisputed champions and all the fighters he got in the Hall of Fame. He was most impressed with none of his fighters ever got seriously hurt in a fight. All of the grandmasters are gone today. Emanuel Stewart was the last of them, and we will not see their like again. Freddie Roach is a good trainer. Robert Garcia, Bozianis, they all good trainers, but none of them are not even remotely in the class of the true greats, these trainers we talked about today. And we didn't get to Angelo Dundee. He was included in it too. We didn't get to him. And Stitch the Cut, man. I had a nice piece on Stitch Duran. We might do that tomorrow at the end of something. Angelo and Stitch Duran, because I had some nice pieces on them, yeah. But I can show you. There's Angelo. with his prize pupil. And some nice shots. I had a nice shot on Stitch. There's Stitch working with somebody. Stitch again. I had a nice thing on Stitch. We're gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna leave these pictures in there. And Stitch Duran was on BVO a couple weeks ago. I was like, damn, BVO, what you doing over there? Stitch Duran? Man. And there he is. There's the final picture. Had a good long thing on Stitch. Okay. But yeah, that's it. Cornerman, brought to you by Thomas Hill. Yeah, I think Bomac got it for 2025, the Trainer of the Year. I seen something like that. Bomac's name, that's just somewhere. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Arnie says Turkey would have to break the piggy bank if Roberto Duran and Benny Leonard was in their prime now, going for the lightweight fight. Wouldn't he have to be a title fight? I would break my piggy bank for that pay-per-view. Man. Imagine the purses they would command now. Ali Frazier, nowadays. Bo Holyfield fight. And James Toney and Roy Jones. Prime versus prime now. The kind of money they would command, man. Woo. And the pay-per-view buys would be astronomical. For what these fighters now getting, up against them guys. Woo. It would be absolutely crazy. Okay, we got Just Do Boxing is coming up next. Appreciate you, Arnie. Boxing. We got BBO in here. TV. BBO comes on about 8. Arnie usually comes in like 9:30, 10ish, something like that. At night. 2 great channels, man. Both know their history, current events. Arnie calls boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Yep. So check them out later on tonight. Okay? Tell them Cass Sports sent you. But tomorrow is going to be, we're going to get on the WBC like we did the WBA last Thursday. History of the World Boxing Council. And Friday, we're going to talk about gentleman Jerry Cooney. Jerry came on in the late 70s toward the end of the golden age of the heavyweights, but he fought a few of them. But they were past the prime. He fought Ken Norton, Ron Lau. I always get Jimmy Young and Jimmy Ellis mixed up. He fought one. I think it might have been Jimmy Ellis. He beat him. Demolished him. But they were at the end of their careers. But, like I said yesterday, BoxRec not going to have, they was at the end of their careers. BoxRec just going to have their name on his record with a W beside it. So, gentleman Jerry beat them. Right? BoxRec don't have, they were past their prime and none of that. So, yeah, Jerry got wins over some of them great fighters from the golden age. He came right at the end. I think Jerry's first fight was like, it had been 77 or something like that. But he's most known for the Larry Holmes fight. So Larry wasn't taking no chances. He had Eddie Futcher and Ray Arcel in there. I'm going to win this fight. Damn. So, yeah, but Jerry is tomorrow. He had a good career. He got off track a little. I think he got into the alcohol and drug scene a little. But he got himself together. And him and Larry Holmes became best friends. And when Jerry lost that fight to Holmes, and they were ridiculing him, and he caught a lot of flack. And guess who called him after the fight? Like a couple of days later, he said, really, because he got real depressed. And guess who called him and brought him out of his depression? Larry Holmes. Yeah. And they became best of friends. Mm-hmm. He said all them people was getting on him and everything because he lost, because they had built him up so much and everything. And the same people that was building him up and all behind him was the main ones that was laughing at him and ridiculing him, right? He said he got real depressed. And Larry Holmes called him, brought him out of it. But let me stop. I know you're doing the profile tomorrow if I keep running my mouth. I'll tell everybody the profile today. But yeah, we're gonna get into Jerry Cooney deep, all that deep tomorrow. Go through his resume, a little bit about his personal life and things. Gentleman Jerry Cooney, that's his nickname. Then we got no, not Abdullah. We got the Cuban kid, guy, man, 37, 40. Andy Cruz in his 40s. He ain't no kid. Andy Cruz and Raymond Muratalla. I can't call that one. I got it 50-50, man. I can't call it, man. It's going to be interesting to see. Appreciate you. Oh, there's Thomas Hill right there. What's up, Thomas Hill? Yeah, thank you. I did my best. Did you see the beginning? I thought that was kind of good. You know, I mean, I'm not bragging, but I thought the beginning was kind of good. I found some nice stuff on CORNERMAN. But this was brought to you by the legendary Thomas Hill, this show. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was going to call you, Thomas Hill. I couldn't find your number. I'm going to put my email in there. You don't want to put your phone number in there. And email me your number again, Thomas Hill. It's in my wife's phone, and she not here. Let me see. Yeah, email me your number, T Hill. Here's my email right here. I got to go out like an hour or so. I'm going to give you a ring. Let me see. What is my email? Anybody know it? Damn. You know how you like your own phone number? It would be hard sometimes. You try to. Damn. You don't use your own email that much, right? You don't call yourself. So it's hard to remember your own phone number and email and stuff. But that's it right there. I think. Yeah, that's it. There you go, T Hill. Email me your number. I got it somewhere, but I don't know where. There it is. Y'all got to go for a run. I mean, a ride. I done did my walk. Auntie Boxer said, pull up. Give him privately. Okay. You can put it in there. I don't care if people get my Gmail. You know. Okay, let me see something. Oh, wait a minute. I was putting the yeah, we got it. We have a quick one today. I got to make a run, but T Hill got something to say. Thomas Hill asked for the link. You got to give the link, man. That's the legendary Thomas Hill right there. YouTube might throw me off. Oh yeah, I don't get his link to Thomas Hill when he asked for it. Then we got Just Do Boxing next. Yep. We're going to do a short link. I always say that, then it'll be 8 o'clock. Time for BBO to come on. We still be on here. Okay. We're going to do a 15-minute link. There it is. There it is, T Hill. Okay, yeah. CORNERMAN today. We're going to history of the WBC tomorrow, and then Friday is Gentleman Jerry Cooney. Gentleman Jerry. Okay, let me see. Now I can't find the cursor. Shit. Oh, there it is. Man. Okay, there it is. What's up, T Hill?
What's good with you?
I couldn't find the cursor, man. Not too much. Were you listening?
Yeah, I was listening.
Okay.
I had my computer on listening to you. I was engaged in something else as well too, though, so that's why I wasn't active in the chat.
Yeah. But, okay. What's happening?
Oh, nothing much, man. I needed that link just so I can give you that right there. You see that?
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. I see it. Okay. Appreciate it. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad that you took the time out to talk about the CORNERMAN, man, because like, you know, the corner is a dynamic cog of the whole fighter. I mean, depending of who you have in there, like you might need an expert cut man. So you're gonna want to have the right cut man in there.
It could be the
You're
difference
gonna
between winning and losing. The cut man, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hell, even like people like Bandini. Bandini was necessary to help motivate Ali through some of them tough fights.
Yes.
He was getting that great. He was getting that great coaching from his chief. But sometimes when you get in that great corner, you just got somebody in there that's just not going away. That's not having it. Mm-hmm. And you need somebody that's gonna push you through, help you go through. A lot of the things that I think went the wrong way for Dev is the fact that he got the one guy they called, I forgot, I think they called him forgot his name, but the dude that always called Lord Devin Haney. I forget they don't have him in there no more.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him. And that was something that was prominent in the earlier days at 35.
Yeah, it was.
But his last couple of fights at 3-5, that guy was no longer around. Now, I think that's something that with his health had to do with it, but it's a missing part. You know how important the chief is, the head trainer is, but it's also important to have a good second. A good second right now can see things probably that the chief ain't really, or they might be able to reason with the brother to a point where the chief might not be, because he's got emotion involved. So it's like corner work is very important.
Yes, it is.
And not only just corner management too, man. And that's a great topic to key on. There's been some great managers throughout the course of boxing too, man. And there's been some terrible ones too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it all lends itself into how the fighter gets exposed and gets brought to the masses. So, it's always good to see, because boxing is more than just fighting.
Yes, it is.
Boxing is many things. Boxing is so many things, and there's so many moving parts that go along with to make the sport what it is that you get to see on The View. Whether you're in this,
very important. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's why it's great to have someone like you who is doing this, that's showcasing boxing, that's giving you all of boxing, not just one particular fighter or one particular camp or one particular
Come on up, Arnie. For a few minutes, we're gonna go for like 15 minutes, Arnie.
One particular faction of the sports. You cover it all, and it's good to have it covered that way, because there's no bias in it. It's just boxing.
Right.
So what boxing has given us is what you're giving the folk, and people should really be thankful for that, because everywhere you go, you have people putting their emotion into it.
That's true.
And I can go on and on about how so many people that are creating content are really doing a disservice to the sport by the content they do, because they got their emotions involved.
Yeah, I know. I hate that, man.
When we fight, when we watch fights, we got things tied into it. We root for certain folks. But the thing we want more so than anything is a good fight.
Yeah. Some people be fanatical. That's what fan is short for, fanatic.
Yeah.
Fit some people perfectly.
Hey, some people really are fanatics, they don't care too much for the sports. They just want to be a fanatic of the sport.
And especially boxing, man. Especially boxing.
In boxing, you can do that too, because there pretty much are no rules. Mm-hmm. Like everywhere else, there's structure. Boxing, the structure is kind of like my man Dane Father.
One-on-one have a lot to do.
It is. Yeah. It is, and that's back to gladiator type. That's the true essence of competition. Mano y mano. Which man?
Gibson in the building.
Hey T Hill, you talking about that guy named Church or something like that? Something
I'm
like
sorry.
that was the guy from Devin Haney that you were mentioning. I
Church,
think his name
church.
was
There you go, church, church. That's it. That's it. That's my guy. Hey, it makes a huge difference, though. You know,
It
when you
does.
go through it, I mean, just take, because, man, I'm going to be honest, bro. I have no dog in the sport. I rock what I like with in the ring. And there are certain fighters that do things in the ring that I
Yeah.
really cater to more than others. But I understand that boxing is a series of skills and talent that has various styles. So I'm into various styles. I'm into seeing how you can impose your style upon another style, your will upon someone else's will. So I'm never gonna say, well, that's too boring. I don't want to see that. Shit, I want to see it. Because if I believe this person is that dude, then he should be able to overcome that dude. And if that person really that dude, he should make sure that that person never shows in the world that he is that dude. That's how I feel. So I enjoy it. I welcome it. I am not no hater, bro.
If
I
you think
really.
he's running, if you think he's running, cut the ring off then. You know? You sit there and complain about he ran, cut the damn ring off.
Yeah.
Case in
Stop him
point.
from running.
Case in point. When you say that, I'm glad you say that. Boots versus Karen Kukadajian 1.
Yeah.
A tremendous fight. I don't care what nobody say. I don't think that man ran not one time. I thought he boxed extremely well. And I thought that, unfortunately, because of the setting and because of the stage, Boots wanted to announce to the world that I am who you should be tuning into. That I am the man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in doing that,
Mm-hmm.
you said what now, Cass? My bad. No, you said what?
That was the Tank Hector card. But go ahead, finish it.
Yeah. On that card, right? So everybody's tuning in because of who?
Tank and Tank.
Yeah, for Tank, right? Well, Boots wanted to make sure the world. Yeah, because Boots wanted to make sure that the world would see there's a new face you need to tune into.
Right. Exactly.
And in doing so, he kind of left the principles of boxing. If he would have cut that ring, he could have made that fight that much easier.
Yep.
But he didn't. He followed, and Kukadajian took advantage of that. Now, while he didn't win no rounds, he definitely did some effective work in there. And I saw that he was a problem if he would be able to do something because he was getting clean shots off. Now, Boots does do some things that allow for some shots to come in, but usually it's because he's gonna get you with something.
Right.
The second fight with Boots, I think it happened that way because he didn't want the fight. Mm-hmm. And when you're not emotionally involved and tied to, if you're not connected to that fight, man, this is boxing. Them dudes ain't easy to get up in there and handle or dispatch. It can get difficult. But still in all, he didn't lose but maybe 3 or 4 of those rounds.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want it though, because he was like, he just got 12-0. What fight am I getting for, bud? Yeah.
So, it makes a difference. And styles definitely are there to make fights. So I'm not about all of that. I just want to see the fight. So I want people to get in there and fight. My bad. Go ahead, Irony.
No, I was just wanted to ask you that because I know you mentioned that, and I remember that guy, but I didn't remember the name, so I looked him up real quick.
What happened to him, Ronnie? Do you know what happened to him? He stopped being in the
I have no idea, to be honest with you, but I'll look it up.
What I was told, now I don't know how true it was. I was told he was going through some health issues, but that he would, when he got better, he would be back. But I think it's something that's definitely missing in the corner.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a smooth minute. And you would see him at press conferences. You would see him everywhere. Hell, even in interviews. The Mickey freaking would be right there like Bandini.
Yeah, he would heckle the hell out of the opponents, and he was really good at that. I mean, I can see how if you're standing on the other end, you wouldn't like him too much, obviously. But
that was his job, man. He was good
right, man. If you ain't got haters, you ain't doing it right, bro. Trust me. If you ain't got haters, you ain't doing it right.
For sure. I had to tell somebody that today. I know there's people that hate me, and I really haven't given them a reason to. So that means whatever I've done has been good enough that you know what, they felt like they should have thought about it, or they should have done it first, or it should be them, and therefore they're gonna do that to me, man. Because I truly don't want to bring no ill will to no one. And I truly don't hate on nobody. I'll joke with you in a heartbeat, but I'm not about to sit here and just throw shade your way for no goddamn reason.
That ain't your
And,
character.
There's certain type of people in this world. I'm sure you know this, but I just have to say it, right? There's certain type of people in this world, whereas if they hate on you, that's basically a stamp of approval on you.
That's
no,
So yeah, I mean, if
From
some
them,
certain type of
right.
people hate you, man, you basically it's because you're doing something right.
Yeah.
no, absolutely, absolutely. What you said the first time, you doing something great. If you got people up in here hating, I know that because I told Kaz one day, Kaz never got no trolls, and then one day he just was getting trolls.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
for what? Kaz don't never talk down upon no fighter. He don't excessively glow up no other fighter. He tell you exactly how he see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me and him see certain things differently, but we can always have the conversation. He to me said, you know, he told me, yo, I honestly thought that Lamont Roach won the fight against Tank. And I told him, I feel you. I understand how you can
Right.
feel that way. I said, but, you know, honestly, I didn't see it that way because, you know, I thought that the first 6 rounds, Tank won 5 of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I
true
thought that,
fans, man. We true fans.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know, and then we can see each other's point of view too. You know,
for sure, because it's a fight and it's a lens. Hell, he could look at the wall and see words differently than I can because he got better vision.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not correct in what I see. It's just that I'm not seeing things the correct way or a better way. So I can admit when, you know, something ain't what I'm saying. Ain't you know when I'm if I'm ever wrong and it's been pointed out to me, I'll get quiet on that matter. I'll be like, yeah, you right. And I won't say nothing else on that no more.
But nobody don't know everything, you know. We
And
all
too, J Hill, it's happened to me too. Like even to me, it happened the other day. I was doing a live, and some dude started saying some expletives, and I'm like, here we go.
Man.
See that's how you know you're doing it right. Because
Yeah, for sure.
Was he on the panel with you?
Nah.
Nah, he in the chat. See, on the panel, you get some sort of control, some semblance of control. Because for one, you always make them cam up, especially if you've never seen them before. Right. And usually when people cam up, you could tell when somebody's about to be on some BS. You really can't tell.
Cam up, they'll just disappear when you tell them cam up, you know.
But when they gonna cam up and they gonna be on some BS, they got a certain aura about them that you could just peep from the beginning. So you know to watch them in that moment, so that whenever they are, you got that button trigger ready to say, all right, that's your time here. Thank you, but no, thank you. And get on.
After Jay's show that time, remember that dude came up there? He had the family jewels in his hand.
Yeah, that was wild.
Said, nah, you got the cam up, man. After that was great.
But that's how you know.
Else's name, man.
And shout out to Jay Hardcore, man, because that was another brother that was like down the line, just straight level with it. You know what I'm saying? He just like enjoying talking the sport, man, and not like the boxers. Because I'm a fan of boxing, not boxers.
Yeah, me too.
I like certain boxers, but I love the sport.
We got our preferences, but we ain't gonna put them up on no pedestal and they can't do no wrong like some people do, you know.
But in the sport, there are things that factor in and make the spectacle what it is. There are locations and venues that make the sport better. They should be chronicled. Hey, we've had these many fights here in this venue. Some of the biggest and brightest moments in boxing had happened at this venue. Everything pops when the sport is at this venue. So you can do a show on everything. You can do a show on the people who have covered the sport, who have actually called it. It's so much to boxing.
Commentators, all that.
Yeah, because we know nowadays commentating is bought. Commentary is bought, I should say. It's paid for. You can tell by the way they're covering the sport that this is where the money is behind. I remember when it wasn't that way. I remember what you saw in the ring is what they said on the commentary.
Yeah, they called it.
I wish it could go back to that.
We had George Foreman, Emmanuel Stewart, Lenny Slew. They called it like it was, man.
For sure.
Also, I
didn't like this guy. No, I didn't like. Let me say this real quick. I didn't like this guy, but he called it. Larry Merchant called it like it was too. But I hated him, but he called the fights like they.
Larry Merchant.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Also, just real quick. Also, to get back to the point of the trolls, real quick, I just want to add a little perspective that I have on them because I just look at it this way: there's always one or two, or maybe, or hopefully more of them that are that way, but also deep down they wanna they love this game and they wanna learn the actuality of this game because I at certain point in my life, bro, I cannot lie, I was kind of like that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was a kind of a dumbass casual at some point in my life, and I just you know and I just look at it that way as well. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. 95% of them, bro, don't deserve time of the day. So I just wanted to add that. That's it.
Yeah, we all were casuals at one point. We had to learn it.
Yeah, I just feel like if enough of them get this perspective more, as opposed to certain ones that I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. They will, this thing can get some traction. Maybe I'm a fool to believe that, but
This was BH. One of the initials BH, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of that, like there was a show just a couple of nights ago where they were talking about a certain situation, and that person that you're talking about tried to justify, condemn one. I'll let it be known the situation. Yeah. Okay, the things that are going on with Tank, which nobody really has a clue about because things aren't adding up. Things are not things are not adding up. But people are speculating what it is, and they pinpointed it, having no actual tie to it, right? But what one person said was, and that person we're talking about was that the persons who should take accountability for that is Coach Kenny Ellis, Coach Calvin Ford, because they should be able to give better guidance and counsel to this person and not let stuff like that happen in their camp, right? In their camp. I'm emphasize in their camp. So in their camp is a lot of players, a lot of boxers. You don't hear a lot of stuff about them. You do hear something about that one particular. Then he goes to a camp that he glorifies because it's anti-PVC. Now follow me, because most of the stuff is anything anti-PVC in his biggest stars. The camp called B&B has one fighter that is accused of beating a woman, one fighter that's accused of killing a girl, one fighter that is accused of something else, and then another fighter and themselves with a gun charge. And he was like,
they running over there.
So that's what he said. So are you going to hold them accountable? Even the person that you said should take accountable, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got no current charges on them, but the person that you're saying is doing a great job has a current charge on them. And plus, 4 of their fighters got some issues going on. And he said, it just happens. So over there, it's deliberate and it's something that can be dealt with. But over there, it just happens.
Ain't that something? And you know what?
And that's what he's about.
In RNT Hill, I found out that some people, if a content creator, a big content creator with a certain amount of subscribers, some people just believe it automatically because they got 50,000 subscribers or something. It's got to be true, but they can be wrong too.
Right. They equate popularity. I mean, I'm not saying. You see what I'm saying? Like they equate popularity to automatically to like this guy is the goods, which sometimes may be true. Sometimes it may be the case,
but not all the time. Yeah,
but often I found that's not the case. To be honest with you,
that's right. They don't know what the hell they talking about a lot of the time. Neither.
Yeah, they're just willing to walk the line,
They get away with it, so they do it.
So because something is said of it doesn't necessarily make it so. But this is what's been said of one other faction that got four other things going on, and one of them themselves got something going on and had something happen, but that's just happening. Whereas over there, they just ain't got no control and they're not holding them accountable. And that's what we do in this space. We got people that will see similarities. Case in point, another one. There's a fighter who had a bad performance, and you know what that fighter said to the people?
What was that?
F the fans. They could my So that's what they said. Right? Facts. Now. I'm a fan of Shakur. He said that though, right? Yeah. And he was talking to the fans at that particular time. Then you got another fighter who's getting heckled by a couple of fans, and they keep messing with him. So he said to them, and he generalized it too, F you. Mm-hmm. But it's to them two in particular. But they like, see, your fighter said your favorite fighter. And I hate favorite fighters too, because it applies heavily to 6 different fan bases. But your favorite fighter out there telling you, F you, just be a fan and all this other stuff. But the other fighter told people to and f too. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference? See, and that's what I have a problem with. Like, we don't hold standards the same. We only hold the standard to the people we choose to hate. And I believe that the only reason why they hate on certain fighters is because of the allegiance or perceived allegiance to the brother Al Heyman and the PBC and the narratives that they spin off of that.
They get a lot of hate.
They get unnecessary hate. You don't hear the fighters hating them like this, but you hear people who don't know nothing hating them.
Fans, yeah.
It just
amplifies, like a fighter just because he affiliated with them.
There's nothing worse than giving a hater a reason to how do I put this? Like giving a hater like more reasons to hate you is like bleeding in front of sharks, basically. You know. Let me ask you this, T Hill. I asked you, Cass, and I want to ask to Technique and take it to whoever. Do you guys? I think but do you guys want to take Roach versus Pitbull too or no?
Oh yeah, you asked me the other day. Yeah.
T Hill?
Not really. Be honest.
How about you, T?
What's that again?
Do you want to see Roach versus Pitbull too, or no?
I'm gonna ask you this before I'm gonna answer it first. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I really wouldn't. It's not something that I think we should write home about. Yeah. On the Pantheon of rematches, it would be lower on the Pantheon. Yeah. I'm not too thrilled about it. I honestly don't think there should be a rematch because I don't feel like the fight wasn't definitive. I thought there was a definitive winner. I didn't think that the winner won, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, I don't believe it's the fighter that everybody else seems to believe because they want to see the fight with Tank. Now, this is the thing. Because you lose don't mean that you don't deserve a fight. I've never been with that because I've come up in an era where they lost and still got fights.
Yeah.
So, even though Roach may have won that fight or may have lost that fight, which I believe he lost the fight. But I ain't mad with a draw because there were spaces in there where you could give it to any one of them. And whenever that's the case, it can go any way. But scoring the fight, first 3, definitely Pitbull. Second 2 after that, 4 and 5, I edged Pitbull. 6 through 9, definitely Roach. 10, I edged Roach, but you could give it either way. 11 was kind of close, but I thought Pitbull won that, and I thought he definitely won 12. Now, you could give him 11 as well, too, but in that fight, you said it looks like a draw.
You definitely got 12.
So you had like four swing rounds. Seems about right. Do you? So I should probably ask this question first. Do you guys believe that Roach is going to stay at 140, or did he say that?
I think so. I don't think he's going back down. I think he stayed. I don't think. I think Roach was a bigger fighter all the way around. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he was cutting just to be where he can get an opportunity.
Roach is solid.
And Roach is a solid fighter. He beat, to become champion, he beat a solid fighter. Now that fighter he beat gonna get devalued because he fought Tank. And they're gonna devalue everybody that fights Tank until they can be a commodity to them. Roach became a commodity after the draw. Before that he was trash. Huh?
Hector was a good fighter.
And that's why I was going with it. He beat him, but to be fair, I don't think he won that fight. And I think the knockdown that gave him the victory was a rabbit punch. It was illegal. Yeah, I thought he hit him in the back of the head, and I thought it was clear. That shouldn't have been a call to knockdown. That's what ultimately gave him the fight. Other than that, I thought he lost the fight.
Yeah, the knockdown did it. Played a big part in it anyway, you know.
It played a huge part in it.
I wasn't mad at the draw personally. I'm gonna watch
the
it.
Draw again. For who? For the fight between Pitbull and Laurent?
Me personally, yeah.
I wasn't mad at the draw either. I wasn't mad at it.
Okay.
I wouldn't even be mad if you said Lamont won, because like I said, there were swing rounds. There were 4 swing rounds. You could go either way with them.
I think they did it right. Give it the draw. Yeah. But what you were saying, T Hill, I would mind seeing it, but it ain't if they make it, but it ain't nothing that's pressing that I'm pressing, you know, to see. You know what I mean? But I would watch it if they make it again. But it's not up there on my list of fights I would want to see if I had a choice of rematches. It probably wouldn't be top 5, you know. But was it a title eliminator or something?
This one, fight? The Roach and Pitbull. Good question. I don't know. T.
You mean as far as the belts are concerned?
Yeah.
I think it was a way to justify a fight with Tank. Honestly, first and foremost, people would want to see Tank lose, right? Yeah. Let's be honest. They want to see him lose. They want to see him down bad, so much so that they put stuff out there that ain't even true. So you know they want to see him lose in the ring.
The winner would have got Tank.
I'm thinking it would have justified them not making a fight with Shakur, not making a fight with possibly anybody else but.
Yeah.
T, I would love to get your take. I don't know if somebody's calling you or you're busy, but I would love to get your take on Muratalla and Andy Cruz, or if you guys are going to, I'm sure you're going to do a show on it with Ann McQueen, but I just maybe like a quick prediction. I don't want you to give the goodies. Save that for the Casuals Corner, obviously. But he's probably busy. I think somebody was calling him.
Which fight you talking about?
Muratalla versus Cruz. I would love to get his take on that one.
I got that.
Back to back.
50-50, pick them. Cruz and Muratalla.
Yeah. Okay. My bad about that. My phone had back to back. Cruz Muratalla. Honestly, if Cruz is together, I think he wins that fight.
That's where I'm leaning. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Muratalla. What was you gonna say?
I wouldn't be surprised if Muratalla, because Muratalla can knock somebody on the canvas.
I wouldn't call it the upset, you know, if Muratalla puts it out. What were you going to say? Now, if Cruz does what now to you?
If Cruz is right, like his mindset is right, and he's now assimilated from the transition from amateur to pro, then I think that with his skill set, and his ability to like mix up and move, I think he becomes a little bit more different for somebody that's there to be hit. And I think Muratalla is there to be hit. And I think that Muratalla does the same move over and over again, so he can pick up on that. And I think the corner can pick up on that, so they can capitalize on that. Now, Muratalla does have the ability to put somebody on the canvas, and that can serve him well in this fight. But I don't know if Cruz is going to be a willing participant in that. So I think for what we will see, I think the fight will play out where Cruz dominates most of the rounds. Whether he gets the win will be up to how the money flow. goes, because I fully believe that dictates a lot of wins and losses.
Yes, it does.
I wish that they would incorporate another round just so they can have a way around that ish, because then it wouldn't be no justification for draws as well too.
The
So
draws.
You know
so
what bare knuckle does? You know bare knuckle does, just real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off. Just real quick. You know bare knuckle does something very interesting. The BKFC, they do. If after a fight they are even, they go to what they call an overtime or sudden death, whatever they
Oh
call it,
yeah,
one round to like decide things. So I think that
yeah.
would be great, man. Now that you say that, you just remember that to me. Go ahead. You were saying something.
yeah, OTX I think does that in boxing as well too. But I think that there should definitely be like another round so that they do away with draws, because you don't compete to tie. I've never been a fan of draws. I've never Hockey you can tie, football you can tie, and soccer you could tie.
They do play an extra period to try to break it. Boxing,
And
they
in,
try
in
to do
soccer,
it.
they got penalty kicks as well, so they do have closure.
Yeah.
Just not in like a league game, but like in a World Cup or something. Yeah, they don't do the draw thing. They go to
Yeah,
they play some minutes extra, which I don't like
yeah.
because people are dead tired. You've been running like hell all day, and then they go to penalty kicks.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this off of that, because I've been thinking a lot about this lately. Okay,
Very sir.
the problem with that, T, is that what about because I've seen fights, bro, and I'm sure you can attest to this. Obviously, I've seen fights, bro, where I don't really see a clear winner. So if there's no clear winner, aren't you doing a little bit of a? I could be wrong about this, but aren't you doing a little bit of a disservice to the other guy by giving him a loss? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, man. But I've been thinking maybe sometimes a draw might be. And don't get me wrong, I don't like the draws any more than you do. Okay, but sometimes, to be in all fairness, in all seriousness, I think the draw is the fairest thing sometimes, but I could be wrong. But go ahead.
Yeah. We gotta get rid of the
You know
I'll
what?
make my final point.
Okay, so I'll make my final point, and I'll tie into the question that you asked me as well. The draw can be fair, especially with the way that we have it now, because there is an even amount of rounds. There's definitely a fair case for a draw.
Yeah.
But I think that when you're having a competition, when it's 1 versus 1, there should be no draws. There should be one who obviously won and one who obviously did not. And if it was that close, I'm for another fight to prove it again. But there's always somebody who has done a little bit more in the fight than another, and or a little bit more in the competition than another. So I would only levy against it in that form of thought.
Right.
Also, going back to the rematch thing, I think that what Lamont should do is should take advantage of the opportunity to fight for the in recess title. And whomever that may be against, if that's against Kid Austin, fine, fight him.
He come back down to 135.
Yeah, if you want that, because he said he wanted that. Now, if you truly want that, then that's what you do. But if not, then what you do is you pick up the pieces and you either run that fight back or you fight somebody at 40 that has a way into another belt so that you can get yourself lined up for it. But the rematch, I wouldn't be opposed to it because it was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Very good fight.
And if you felt like you won, then you could show the next time around why you should have won, and you will do things better. And likewise, the same for Pitbull. So I would say that as far as rematches go, though, there's only certain rematches that I truly care to see at this point in time. I don't care to see for the Benavidez Beterbiev fight. I thought there was definitive.
Bivol Beterbiev.
Yeah, my bad. Bivol. Yeah, I don't care to see that one again, especially since it's waited so long. Nah, because honestly, I don't feel like it was a tie, but it's taking too long to break the fight. So
That's a good point there too.
You know, he's already 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The rematch between who else? Roach, like I said, Roach and Pitbull. I don't want to see that. That doesn't intrigue me unless they're gonna fight and it's for something. So
wasn't it a title eliminator or something though? Something had to be on.
No, it was just the sweepstakes.
Oh, okay.
What about Bacoli and a Jagba? You got any interest in seeing a second one there?
Nah.
Because they had a draw on the first one, or no?
Did you think Ajagba lost that fight?
I wasn't too no. But I was happy with the draw, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and that fight I've seen like 5 times. So I was pretty content with the draw because I felt Ajagba.
You had a draw every time, Arnie?
Say that again.
You had a draw all 5 times.
Yeah, basically, wow. Because here's the thing, Ajagba, if he would have kept that pace the whole fight, he would have outclassed Bacoli, but he didn't. Bacoli was able to get him in the corner and just wham on him, and that happened, so I saw that dead even straight down the middle. Most people think Ajagba pulled it off. I mean, I thought it was a draw, to be honest with you, and I do want to see the second one.
I didn't even watch that. I wasn't even interested. That didn't interest me.
That could be a title fight, seriously, in my opinion.
It could be, and there was enough action to warrant it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was enough action in both of the Bivol fights with Beterbiev that warranted it. It's just the time that has elapsed.
Yeah, the injuries and stuff came in. I think they would have had it by now.
That's true.
I think they both got hurt at one point, didn't they?
It's like AJ and Ruiz 3. Like, who wants to see that?
I would not want to see that. I would not want to see that at all.
Which one, Arnie?
AJ versus Ruiz 3. I mean, who in
God's
name
name
wants to see that?
But if you give me Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, I'm tuning into that fight. I want to see that fight.
Let's see that again.
Yeah, me too.
If Ryan beats Barrios, I think we get that one next.
For sure, it should be next. And let me ask you guys this: what about Ruiz and Big Baby Miller? Anybody want to see number 2 or no?
Big Baby Miller. Well, he's fighting.
They drew, but they actually, in all actuality, bro, I thought Big Baby won the fight, but it was a draw. And it was pretty good,
fight
man.
Next weekend, Arnie? Big Baby?
Yeah. He's fighting on the undercard of I think Bakram and Kelly or somebody like that.
Or the other one. Well, I know he's doing one of them.
Yeah.
What's up, Pirro? We was getting ready to get out here.
Yeah, I'll let Pirro talk because I know you ready to close out.
No, I was gonna ask about. I was just gonna say about the Andy and Big Baby. I'm not big on like I don't want to see this fight. Like if it's a draw, like it should be a given. That they need to fight again, but like that's not where we're at anymore. I thought the fight was a draw. They said it was a draw, right? The Big Baby and Andy.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna give it to Big Baby. The draw I think was warranted, but the thing is, like, that's like one fight I wouldn't want to see because, like, literally, a Big Baby's so bad that the worst Andy Ruiz I've ever seen in his career, like, he couldn't even beat him. Like, literally, that guy broke his hand. Like, did you guys see his hand after the fight?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I did.
Ruiz, like, oh my, like, I don't like to make excuses, whatever. Like, Andy looked like crap, But like that hand was, I mean, that's how bad Big Baby is. You know what I'm saying? Not Big Baby Anderson, but Jerome Miller. That guy is a horrendous boxer, bro. Like, he can't box.
He should have been retired by now myself. I thought he should have been retired.
I don't think he's so bad. He just can't pass a drug test.
I got eyes. Irony, respectfully, I got eyes.
I see where you're coming from.
And literally for like the last 4 years, I've been like trying to lie to myself about like where the state of boxing is going. So I still don't want to put the energy out, bro. But like literally, like boxing is like in a bad place right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that.
It's not even funny, man.
It's always been like the sea, up and down. Always
Nah,
been.
it's never been like this. I'm sorry.
But now, you're now about the worst that I see.
So
I
with that statement,
remember the Vladimir Klitschko era, Puro, not for nothing. You know,
I mean that's just like a
That's
matter of
heavyweight,
taste.
though.
That's a matter of taste, though. I'm not talking about like what you like to see, if it's boring or whatever. I'm talking about like the sheer inactivity of boxing
Overall,
okay.
I think Klitschko era overall it wasn't as bad as now, but the heavyweights for the Klitschko era was up there. With the
I get where Aaron is coming from. Like literally, I stopped watching heavyweight boxing because of that era.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah.
then, like literally,
Right.
I'm biased too for American heavyweights, just because that's how we are over here.
Yeah.
You know,
And let's be honest here, fellas. The heavyweight division is the flagship of boxing.
it was.
Well, it was, yeah.
It's not no more. Like literally, like Canelo, De La Hoya, Floyd. Like
It's
literally,
not
they
no more.
stole it. They stole it.
Yeah, that's when it went down around that time.
Because like literally, heavyweights, like literally, the crappiest heavyweight versus any other heavyweight, people will watch it. Like people don't even watch it.
Yep, Oscar Floyd during that era was when the lower weight class started taking over.
Yeah.
Canelo came in.
And
Yep.
and I don't think it's ever going back.
Yeah.
Cass. Do you know that Nayo Inoue last year made 62 million?
I didn't know that. Wow.
Literally, he's a bantamweight. Never in the history of
Yeah.
the sport has anybody from that weight made that amount of money. It's
Not
nuts.
even close to
What
that.
a trailblazer.
That's
I didn't even know that.
I don't know if anybody that low even made like 15 million.
And to put it in context, like Jake Paul's on that list, making like I forget, like 60 something million, and then like literally he only made that money literally to not box, like literally to be an ambassador for Turkey. You get what I'm saying? Like he literally made that money on not like that. Like he had an impressive year, like 4 times in a row, all like top fighters, you know. But like the money. Like that, you gotta put a little bit of context. Like that money was literally paid to him just to like, hey, go to Dubai, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, 62 million.
He did, to his credit. He did. He's been to USA a couple of times, right, for Cardenas, and I missed the other one. And he was in Saudi for Picasso, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You mean anyway?
Yeah, I think so. That was in Saudi, right? Or was that wasn't
I
in
believe
Japan?
so.
Yeah, that wasn't in Japan. I think that was in Saudi. Yeah.
But it's just nuts. It's just how it's changed. I'm just saying 62 million for a
Yeah, for a
bantamweight.
bantamweight. Wow. That's crazy.
Literally before that, it was Carvajal and Chiquita, the first $1 million fight.
Wow, what a fight that was! Jesus Christ! If anybody hasn't seen that fight, please see that fight.
Did they have 2 fights? Or one?
Sorry, guys?
Didn't they have a rematch?
Yeah, there was 3 actually.
3. It was a trilogy. That's right.
It was
I
a
did that
trilogy,
trilogy. I did that
Good
one.
God Almighty, what a fight that was!
Teacher
Jeez.
got 2 of them, too, didn't he?
Yeah, Chiquita got 2, and then the Carvajal got the first one.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did that one Monday. As a matter of fact, yeah.
Carvajal could punch, man. Like he literally his moniker.
And Chiquita had that Chavez-like pressure. My goodness, bro.
He comes from that one class where like Finito Lopez, and then you got all the other ones.
Yeah,
was Romano.
that era.
That's a bear state literally
When
have.
the lower weight classes really started to get noticed around that time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because before then, man, you know, they're like damn near unheard of.
Yeah, and then because they started late too, the lower weight classes. Like, like I remember, I was telling you a little bit, Cass. But I was talking, I forgot who. I was pretending to be somebody else, but like literally, like the lower weight classes started in like Los Angeles by this guy named Parnassus.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, George Parnassus. Like
Somebody
literally, that's
was
the
asking
only
about him
reason.
one time,
That's the only reason people watch this, like these smaller fighters. Like literally, like
he was the only promoter willing to promote them.
Yeah, back. And they did it in Los Angeles at the Grand Olympic. And literally, like one of the greatest Mexican fighters in history, like literally, was famous in those cards.
Lopez.
El Bofes, what's his name? Olivares.
Oh, Olivares, yeah.
What's Olivares?
Somebody in the chat asked me about George, and I researched him and had a whole show up, but I never seen the person since, so I never did it.
That was me, Cat.
Was it you? Oh, you
yeah,
was
that was me. That was my troll account.
I never did that show. I did a whole thing up on him.
Parnassus, yeah, my dad told me about it.
I never knew that was you all this time.
Yeah. No, I like to troll people before I like join them.
That's have been like last year.
I usually be respectful with it, you know.
Yeah, that was last year sometime. Wow.
I wanted to vent, man, because I saw on a panel that literally like people were saying that a dude that hates his fans is the face of boxing. If that happens, it's over with, man. And the guy on the panel said it, by the way. The guy on the panel said it. I ain't gonna say who it was.
It wasn't me, so yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not gonna. I couldn't type fast enough, but I was gonna be like, Tommy, man, you crashing out over Tank hard, bro.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We gotta go though. I'm supposed to be going.
I'm messing with my boy Tommy.
Yeah, we gotta go though. I appreciate y'all, man. Damn.
Hey, needless to say, God bless you all, fellas. Always great.
You coming on tonight, Arnie?
Probably either today or tomorrow for sure. I'm not sure about today though. Probably though.
Did you come on last night?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't never catch you.
I was on like 9:15 or something.
Yeah.
Live.
Okay. That was a little earlier though. Normally it's like 10, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta hope that you got your bell notification on, because sometimes even with that it doesn't notify folks.
I did catch him last week one day though. Last week,
Yeah.
He
told me that he was watching the Steelers losing.
Yeah, I enjoyed that early. They got the crap beat out of them, man. I enjoyed it. They didn't belong in the first place.
Just real quick, Kaz. Is that your football team, the Steel Curtain?
No. Ravens, I hate them.
Oh,
they
that's
didn't even
right.
belong in the playoffs in the first place because the Ravens missed their field goal. That's the only reason Pittsburgh was in there. So I enjoyed it when they got. Pittsburgh not one of y'all favorite teams, is it?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
I'm a Bronco fan myself. And also, I want to say the last thing I wanted to say that if Morataya doesn't win this weekend, it's because he had multiple injuries. Just to let you guys know.
Okay, you got Morataya.
I love it.
I got to ask you about that one. Yeah.
I'm a Cowboys guy. I like the Cowboys, the Patriots.
You like the Cowboys?
Okay. Yeah, the Cowboys are my number one. Patriots close 2, and I like the Saints and the Titans a little bit as well.
Yeah, I meant to ask you about that one, Perro. I got it.
Yeah. No, that's Morataya can't lose, and if he loses, he's injured or something. You know? It's just what it is, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised, man, because that should be a good fight, though.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this way: I'm an Eagles fan.
Eagles?
I've been one of the few fans that have been honest with the way the season has looked and with the prospects of the season. I wasn't surprised one bit by the way we lost, because we've been losing games like that the whole season. And I didn't think that they were going to win the Super Bowl this year. I didn't think that they had the locker room situated for them to do that. And by the way, I didn't crash out over them, and I will never crash out over Tank.
Oh, bro, I knew I was gonna get tired with that one. I couldn't believe
that's well, man. Hey, Kaz, before he proceeded to say that was him, he said I was under one of my troll accounts to see if I was gonna join you. See, he trolled me right there with that comment he made.
Because if it's me, y'all getting y'all feelings, bro. Like, trust me, I'm a well-educated troll. I have to for my buddies, I have to go as a troll account because they get mad.
You ain't told me before you had some troll accounts though. Because one time Shawa came in, she was Yes Indeed Boxing, and I said, "Oh, that must be Puro." The way they was talking, I knew it was somebody that knew me, but I didn't recognize the name, so I thought it was you. But it was Shawa.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been giving up the game, because it's like I'm getting bored.
Okay.
So fortunately, we ain't got to hear from him for a little bit. You got to sit down for a while. So
who's that?
Oh, Tank Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to get some things in order before you come back.
I'm serious though. I think it's BS, Tommy. I don't think none of that stuff is true that's coming out about him.
That's what we were saying.
That's because, Puro, you actually use logic. That's why even when we don't disagree, I never have a problem with you because I can understand your logic. People who use logic will see that if you take Tank out the picture, insert anybody's favorite fighter out the picture and put your family member in there, the way the stuff lines up don't make sense. And you would not be sitting there condemning the people that you love over this stuff because you'd be like, yo, that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Doesn't add up. And I'm being serious. And then people will be like, "Nah, Tank is Kudo's a Tank fan. Like literally, he's just capping for him." I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like literally, like I think Jake Paul has something to do with it, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, Puerto, one thing I know about you is like you always, even your own fighters that you do root heavily for, you criticize them. So I would never say, the people who say people are tankomaniacs are the people that truly are the tankomaniacs. You know that right now, and I'll close. I know you want to go, class, and you got things to do. You know that there's a fight, quote unquote, that Turkey came to give us, that Dana White is going to give us going forward, and that other fighters outside of the PBC give us on a regular basis. The fights that people want to see is taking place in Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, and very few people are covering. Shout out to Just Do Boxing. He is one of few that covers that fight card every day. Everybody else is covering the fugitive. Everybody else is covering Clarissa Shields going out there calling in, pretending to be somebody else. Everybody's covering everything except for that fight. And that is a fight with, quote unquote, the fighters we want to see in the ring together. That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. That's totally disrespectful to both those fighters and to the actual sport of boxing that they say that they want to make better by hating on Tank, hating on Clarissa, and just hating on other content creators. Crazy.
Clarissa does it to herself. I'm not gonna lie, bro. But I got nothing against that chick.
No, she does do it to herself. I mean, if Kaz got something on there and he talking about me, and I try to call in and disguise my voice and say, you talking about this dude, and this dude is this, and this dude is that, and I am that dude. I'm referring to myself in the third person. And then when I finally get enough, I just go back first person and say, y'all talk about me like nobody's business. Yeah, that's not a good look.
Yep. Talk to everybody else too,
But like by the same token,
it's her own fault. Yeah, it's her own fault.
No, Kaz, absolutely. I agree with that. But I know you know this. I know Kaz know this. I know Irony know this. Men don't go back and forth with women.
That's a fact.
We can help it. I'll tell you what.
That's a fact.
We can help it, man.
What for?
Okay, so if we can help it, and that can be helped, we don't go back and forth with women, man. And I think that's what some of the people who do defend her get mad at, because people do have different energy towards her than they do other things. This is the thing that's kind of messed up about that. They only have it in situational standings, because that's the same thing that happens in the male side of things. People can get, I swear to God, we just talked about this. One fighter said F the fans and nothing was said of that.
And that's the one he said was the face of boxing, though. Just throw that in there.
Yeah, man.
Oh, bro, but it's all good, man. Like, man. And it is what it is. Thank you for destroying our sport. It's all good, Enjoy.
That's why I appreciate people like Cash Sports, the box historian, that comes out there and gives you the annals of everything that has to do with boxing. None of the what you call that stuff that you put up in the beer and the sodas and all that stuff to make it last.
Like preservative?
None of that bull. She gives you straight unadulterated boxing.
That's why I like ego, but like Cash is like literally the only channel, bro.
That was well put, actually.
And then you got somebody talking about what somebody wore who the ring on their ring walk got 50,000 people in the chat.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this. And this is the problem with it. So like right now, Cass, when I be watching your videos, like you average like two viewers. Yeah. Irony, he gets like 2-3 viewers.
It's crazy.
You go to places like the Boxing Voice, which produces garbage. They get like 10,000 viewers.
They get something.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I don't want to make nobody feel bad, but like some of the channels that you guys like advocate for, like you get a lot of views, and they're absolute garbage.
Absolutely.
And I'm a nice guy. Like literally, I don't like how they do or what they're doing the sport, but I also don't like. I don't know why I'm like that. Like literally, like I'll be vicious with you, but then I'll feel bad. you know. But
Yeah.
Yo, it's the real fans of boxing, dog. It's like one of them damn bad
I take the fans
boxing baddies.
I take my 6 or 7 people for their 50,000 any day.
no, and I feel that. But that's the thing.
I got
Like,
knowledge
the
of
real
people
fans of
that love
boxing
the
are 3 of
sport.
us. Like shit, man. That's
Yeah.
No, but I do refer people to you, man. So they might not be in tune with the lies, but they do check your shows, and that's ultimately what I try to get people to do, man. Because eventually we'll get away from this love and hip hop, this New York housewives, basketball wives, and all that stuff, baddies of this and all that stuff that we have fallen into. That's why you said what you said. I was gonna say it happened with the advent of social media and the ability to go from phone to live. That has changed the whole and somebody got mad at me when I said it, and I was like, no, it's not a negative, but it has been used for the negative, and that's been the problem. People are doing a lot of stuff just for likes, comments, subscriptions, clicks, and giggles. Mickey Fricky, that's not what they did it for. And people that covered it, they covered it with a passion. Now you got to be vogue, or you got to be hip, or you got to
what
be.
the biggest thing I think of it is, T Hill, with the social media, you can say your insults and stuff to people right there instantly.
Trending.
Say the bullshit to people like instantly.
Yeah. No consequence when I get slapped.
Yeah,
right.
And you know what it'll do? They'll have a squiggly line that looks kind of like lightning that goes around, goes vertical and sort of horizontal at the same time, and it will say trending. These Mickey Frickies do things to trend. That's what they do now. They even sell fights to trend. They don't actually sell fights to fight.
Yeah. And now the boxers are doing it. That's the crazy thing. Now
That's
the
the crazy part about it.
They're doing the ring.
Man, the fighters are actually doing it too.
But Irony, you said something was well put. What were you talking about?
When you made that analogy of the preservatives.
No, that's exactly what's going on, man. And I think unfortunately we got to get to the point where it's just strictly product. And that's why I do come here. That's why if I don't get this show, I go back and watch it, because it's just like host. It's like when back in the days there was no TV, but FDR had the fireside chats. Families would gather along the fire and listen to him speak to them. That's what this is, man. It's just something that just soothes and passes time, because, like Pilgrim said, it's a lot of trash out there.
Hey, and this is the last thing I'll say, fellas. That's the last thing I'll say, fellas. And no respect to like the guys that I fuck with. Like, you guys are very knowledgeable in your passion, but we should never become the product. Us, the fans, should never become the product, and that's what it is. That's like literally like people maybe come in well intentioned, but they end up becoming the product. The product are the boxers. The product of the boxers.
They start meeting people. They start getting connected. Money starts coming in, and all of a sudden,
that go back to what we were saying about these people with all these subscribers. Some people just naturally believe everything they say. That's kind of related to that.
To me, the best example of them all, and this is just me, the best example of them all to me is Max Kellerman. Don't get me started on that guy.
Yeah, Max. What happened to Max, bro? He literally disappeared.
Your guess is as good as mine, buddy.
And now he's like I don't know, like who do I want to make fun of? I don't know. Anyways, now he's like B3, bro. And Max Kellerman became B3.
He was all right at one time, but
B3's cool. I was just fucking with him. But yeah, no. Like I've had tons of respect for Max Kellerman, but Max Kellerman, like lately, he's Did you see like the fluff piece that he did for Zuffa? Did you see the fluff piece for Zuffa?
He's become officially Dana's and Turkey, especially Dana's Glazy boy.
Yeah.
And when you watch him back in his HBO days, I swear to you, bro, it's like two different people.
Yeah, no, it's two different people.
He disappeared, came back as a different person.
Tommy, I'm out. Peace, fellas.
No, Pearl, before you go. Damn it.
He probably listened.
Yeah,
fire away.
I hope he's still listening. He said something. What happened to Max, right? Then you said he became who? He became what?
What did he say?
You said he became Max became what?
Oh, Dana's Dana and Turkey, but especially Dana's Glazy boy.
So basically somebody he hated on with a passion. He went to go glaze up like a donut. He got that bread. He got that
paid him a
payola.
lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
My mouth to you. Money.
That's what happened to the sport. That's what happened to him. It became more about the proliferation of cash flow and how we can keep more
in the
in-house.
social media era, you can get money so fast now, man. If you kiss the right person's ass and shit.
Go, and there you have it. That's why I said the phone. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said social media and the internet has been a major proponent of what's wrong with boxing.
Yeah.
It could, instead of using it for what could be great in boxing, they used it to make something wrong in boxing.
I know.
I'm gonna say one sentence. Let me just say one sentence, Cass. Apologies, right? Let me just say one sentence. Cold hard fact of life, fellas. You're only a rebel until your bank accounts while your bank accounts allows you to be one.
That's right.
That's the bottom line, guys. You're only a rebel while your bank account allows you to be a rebel.
And that's what they're doing. They're trying to keep their bank account like that. That's what Max is doing. Because Max was cool one time. And then look at him when he comes back. Like you said, like a totally different person.
I loved watching him commentate and analyze fights. I used to like look forward to his breakdowns. Seriously.
But Turkey and them is paying him to be a jerk now. And he's willing to do that for the money. He said he done sold his soul.
Yeah, I mean, it's different stages in life. By no means am I giving him a pass, but you're not the same dude when you're in your 20s and you're fresh and you're this and that, and you're willing to maybe sacrifice whatever you need to sacrifice and take the hits, as opposed to when you're twice that age and maybe you got kids or maybe I mean, you're not necessarily the same guy. By no means am I giving him a pass. Okay, I'm just saying that's
he should never sell his soul like that though, because he's doing stuff he don't believe in.
But Cass,
stuff he don't believe in, man.
But Cass and Iron, do you give him a listen?
No, not at all.
You just stopped listening to him, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
The reason why he is being employed is because he has the ear. He has a voice, and he can push their brand, their narrative, their propaganda. Because he knows that there's people who believe in him and who will listen to him, and that's why he's effective. He is a tool, and he is being employed as a tool. But I know you gotta go.
Appreciate you, fellas.
That's what Arnie was just saying.
Yeah, no. I know. I was just because we say we don't know what happened to him. That's what happened to him. He became a weapon. They weaponized him.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at him. We in a capitalist. Yeah, you can't be mad. We in a capitalist society. They capitalizing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you ain't making this money, somebody else is. So it might as well be you, bro. Like if you ain't making that money, somebody else is. If you ain't sitting on that chair, somebody else is. That's the bottom line.
Certain things, you shouldn't sell your soul like that for money, man. Money ain't everything.
True. Plus, you don't need the money, right? You're supposed to.
You don't even need it. You're already well off.
Like you were on first day. I mean,
it's just greed.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Just greed. He don't even need to be like that.
Nah, he don't. Yeah. But unfortunately, there's money out there that he can take advantage of. And if you have a lot of money, but you can get for sure. Hey, well, it's been a pleasure. So you know what? What I will do is give my last words. Drunken Irishman came in. My man Puddle Sorrel graced the panel. Defying Irony graced the panel. Would you please put your links in the comments so that people can follow you? My good brother Technique, the way of things, is in the building. We definitely, I know for a fact we had Mike Rim. I know for a fact we had Mike Magic. I know for a fact we had Jay Gibson of TWT fame. I know for a fact Mrs. Kaz was in the building. I know she checked in. I know for a fact that VVO checked in. Shout out to that good brother. Tap into him and what he got going on. We had Green Light. Green Light up in here. We had Pennywise. Now that's one person that you might want to be aware of, because he told me he was he said he was Nigerian. Them Nigerians be finding ways to scam folks, and his name is Pennywise. I'm just saying.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But To everybody that's actually tuning in, did not reply, but is just listening, or to those who will tune in on the playback and catch us there. This is Cat Sports, the box historian. He comes and he gives you nothing but the actual facts of boxing, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the things that lead to what we see in the ring, and so much more. He don't give you no bias. He don't give you no hate. He just give you the facts. And sometimes we just need that. It's like a breath of fresh air. So if you guys have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. The Cash app is there and it's floating on the screen as I speak. It does say Cash Sports. I'm sorry, it says CAS, all upper caps, 2878, and that's following the dollar sign. So if you would bang that Cash app, definitely subscribe to the channel. And we would love for you to come in and participate, man. Everybody's welcome. All opinions are evaluated and talked and discussed. And, there's opinion for you on the panel if you come up. We just ask that you be respectful and mindful. With that, my name is Thomas Hill. I'm nobody, but I know somebody will find what I say to be endearing to them. And we have Irony Boxing. Please put your link in the channel in the chat so the people can follow you as well. This young brother talks boxing and he talks it from a passion of understanding and discernment. And, he ain't about all that stuff that, people like. There is no hip hops, housewives, or, baddies or anything going on here. We don't cater to the nonsense. We cater to the facts. We cater to the real. And that's what's missing in the game. We need to bring it back to the forefront. And with that, I am out. I'll leave you with these two here.
Appreciate you. All the best to you, brother. I'm out too. God bless you.
Salute to the Trump Irish